Do not wait. KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas reports level 3 evacuations are now underway.
It's tough news for communities still reeling and sorting through the last round of rain. That includes Greg Bayless, who says he watched them evacuate the apartments across the river as well as side streets all around him.
Never have I seen it this in 50 years. I'm almost 60, and never have I seen this river look like this. It's very alarming. I think it's cause for concern.
Meanwhile, State Route 167 remains closed in both directions between Kent and Auburn.
And right now, there is no estimated time for that roadway to reopen. In Mount Vernon Saturday, Governor Bob Ferguson reported some good news despite the devastating flooding that hit our state.
Right now, we have no reported deaths that have come in to the state central emergency system. And as far as we know this time, no, what I would describe as significant injuries. And so we're just deeply grateful for that.
Skagit County's Department of Emergency Management reported rescues are continued over the weekend. U.S. Senator Patty Murray praised flood prevention efforts, saying a flood wall she helped secure federal funding for back in 2006 was a big help.
This investment in this wall really made a difference for this community in lives and dollars and businesses in this community.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey will be live in Skagit County next hour. And now in Tacoma, one person is dead after a house fire Sunday morning in the city's north end. KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon has details.
Crews responded to the home around 10 a.m. and firefighters say the flames were difficult to fight inside the home, but they were able to put them out in about 40 minutes. What caused the fire is still unknown. It's under investigation. Crews are staying at the scene watching for any flare-ups.
And Governor Ferguson says anyone who lives in a possible flooding zone needs to be ready at a moment's notice. KIRO 7 TV's Allison Amoye reports.
The Puyallup River and the Carbon River line the city of Ording, a community that has experienced massive flooding in years past.
Between 96 and 98, we had a flooding event where there was a breach of our levee on the Puyallup River side, which caused basically the river to divert directly into the city.
About a decade ago, setback levees were built along both rivers, which officials credit to saving this small community from flooding.
Despite the threat of flooding, a Stanwood couple now has no plans to move out of their house, which sits right across the Stillaguamish River.
Mike's wife's grandfather and great-grandfather built their home. Her father was born there, and she grew up there.
She's like the salmon that are out there in the river. She's home, and she's not going anywhere.
He tells the G and Ursula Show water has never gotten into that house since it was built 125 years ago. The road outside is now dry, the Stillaguamish has receded, and it's back within its banks. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
And our historic flooding is bringing out kindness. KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch reports.
A donkey brays as Julie Jones giggles.
There, Barney.
She's relieved.
I've been on pins and needles for the last few days.
Jones breeds miniature Mediterranean donkeys in Mount Vernon. When record flooding was forecast along the Skagit River, her 68 donkeys were in danger.
I didn't have children, and so they're like my kids.
She told KIRO Radio's Jake and Spike she posted on social media asking for help, and the response was overwhelming.
I have 3 fields to go to that are just right up the road. I've had people from as far away as Ohio offering help.
Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
And for your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic this morning, be careful out there on the roads. Conditions are very slick right now. Linwood to Seattle, about 25 minutes. Everett to Seattle, about 32 minutes. Marysville to Seattle, getting closer to 33 minutes. And for your KIRO News Radio forecast on this Monday morning, lots of rain continues today, and we'll have rain throughout the mid to morning hours. Highs today will be in the mid-50s. Right now, it's about 52 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, Crime and Punishment, a weekly crime report from Casey McNerthy at the King County's Prosecutor's Office. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Captid Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/22/26, new customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Yep, it's raining out there. Integrity Roofing and Construction is your trusted local roofing team. Integrity offers free estimates, and their customer satisfaction speaks for itself. They'll keep your home leak-free and protected from the northwest rains. Visit integrityrc.com to schedule a roof assessment or video inspection today. With years of experience in roofing and restoration, their skilled team can help with a simple roof repair or a full renovation. Don't wait until the next storm hits. Schedule your free estimate today. Visit integrityrc.com. That's integrityrc.com.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Monday mornings, we check in with Casey McNerthy from the King County Prosecutor's Office for Crime and Punishment. Casey, we're talking today about the math tutor at a Seattle middle school. He was arrested for sexual assault. The victim, 16 years old. Tell us about this case.
Yeah, so this made headlines earlier this year. And it came to the King County Prosecutor's Office from Seattle Police. Our office looked at it and said, think we can prove rape of a child here. And Lucy Pippin is the senior deputy prosecutor who handled the case. Here she is.
Once he was arrested, it was discovered that he had multiple devices with pictures of some of his students and some of them digitally modified to become explicit. And all of that was discovered based on Seattle Police Department just doing an exceptional job and making sure that this guy was held accountable, and so future students and future young people are not victimized by him.
That's horrific. He is modifying pictures of his own students.
Yeah, it's not who you want as your tutor or a teacher, really anytime going forward. And so he's now facing a pretty significant sentence.
Okay, let's hear what she has to say.
So we chose the high end of rape of a child in the second degree. Legislature sets the standard range as 78 to 102 months indeterminate. So that means that he will serve 102 months minimum. Then he'll need to go in front of the sentencing board to see if he'll get out of prison, but he could serve up to a life sentence. He will need to be under Department of Corrections supervision for life and also register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. And so hopefully both of those things will protect so many students and so many young people going forward.
Indeterminate, does that mean McNeil Island or something like that?
No, it just means that he can be in lockup longer than McNeil Island is for the sexually violent predators, which is a different classification. But it basically means if the Sentence Review Board thinks you need more time, you can get it.
Okay.
And in terms of time, it was a really emotional day in court when he was sentenced. Here's Lucy explaining that.
Starting the sentencing and being able to hear the victim's mother audibly crying and audibly distressed was very powerful for the judge. And it's a good reminder, especially to judges, that these cases are not just cases on paper, that they involve families and real people. And the more that people come into sentencing to make their statements, the better. One of the things that stood out to me the most was one of the statements that the defendant's actions have destroyed a part of our daughter's childhood. It has destroyed our family's faith in what should have been the safest place for a child. And this trauma not only hurts our daughter today, but may follow her throughout her life.
I hear that time and time again from victims and reading these impact statements. This is such a serious issue. You are messing children up for the rest of their lives. It sounds like prosecutors understand that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And the work that Lucy does and her teammates in the Special Assault Unit, which handles these cases, they really do great work. And it's really impressive to see the work they do and the dedication they have, especially with, not just one, but many cases like this. I asked Lucy about that and said, how do you do that? And here's how she explained it.
Our work is important because it takes these assaults and these instances of violence and pulls them out of the dark and out of secret such that other people can be protected. It is hard, but it's also an honor to be involved in someone's life and hopefully making it just a tiny bit better.
It is important, and we have so many people who want justice, they need justice, and in cases like this, particularly in cases like this, you have to do all you can in order to find justice for those families.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good way to say it.
Okay. We have a couple other cases going on here. This is one that made international headlines. The cameras in the bathrooms at Expedia. What's she was involved with this?
Yeah, that's another case that Lucy had and recently got convictions for 14 felony crimes.
14 felonies. So that seems like that would be some pretty significant jail time.
It will be, yeah. Or is expected to be. The sentences are concurrent, and so that means they'll happen at the same time for the multiple counts, but he's facing somewhere between 3.5 and 5 years. And so what's going to happen next is in early January, King County prosecutors will make their case. The defense will make their case for what they think is an appropriate sentence. Ultimately, it'll be up to a judge. It's expected to be somewhere in the 40-month range, but we'll see what happens in court and then move forward from there. And also, King County prosecutors got a lifetime no contact order for the victims, or for future victims if there's more that are uncovered.
And then lastly, there was a violent assault outside of your offices, 3rd and James, over the weekend. It's apparently a guy with a wooden stick, and there's some sort of nail in it, and it's a woman in her 70s who was attacked. That's just A, it's awful, but B, when something happens, basically outside your office door, is there any difference in terms of how you handle it?
It can happen anywhere in King County, and King County prosecutors will handle it the same way. But you're right, it sure is concerning to see on the news the same sidewalk you walk down every day and go, wait a minute, that's where it happened. But what in terms of the court actions, King County prosecutors were in court, argued that there was probable cause for assault with a deadly weapon. The court agreed with that after hearing from both sides. And now he's going to be in court again this afternoon. And we anticipate getting a felony case from Seattle Police later on this week for a charging decision.
Okay. Casey McNerthy, King County Prosecutor's Office. Casey, thanks for your time this morning.
It's good to see you, Charlie.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast, it's going to be another wet morning today and throughout the day. Highs will be in the mid-50s. Right now, it's about 52 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, a British couple sparked a global movement for a smartphone-free childhood. That story is next. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Television sales on Black Friday set new records as millions of Americans snapped up the hot deals. But a lot of people were out of town or too busy to take advantage of the special pricing. So, how about a redo? Right now, you've got a second chance to save big on many of the top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs. Where? At Video Only, where the smart shoppers go. So, don't miss out. Check out Video Only now, or
you'll be sorry.
Hey, it's John Curley. If you're having joint pain, this will interest you. This Wednesday night at 6, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
What joints have you seen really good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, one of the most experienced in the country with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go pain-free in 2026. Join his free live stem cell webinar this Wednesday night at 6. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision.
If you're over 50 and you've been diagnosed with a cataract, or your vision is changing as you're developing an early cataract, you could be a perfect candidate for K2 Vision RLE.
It's inevitable. At some point, typically in your 60s or 70s, you'll have a dysfunctional lens that eventually becomes a cataract. To restore your vision, you will someday need a procedure such as refractive lens exchange.
The question is, are you done with glasses? Do you want to spend your good, active years hassling with changing prescriptions and needing readers?
K2 Vision RLE can give you great vision now, permanently, and you'll never develop that cataract. The procedure is quick and painless, and our state-of-the-art custom lens technologies give highly predictable outcomes.
K2 Vision surgeons have performed nearly 100,000 procedures. We know when RLE is right for you.
Find out. Schedule a free Zoom consultation at k2visionrle.com.
K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
that's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchie's what?
Worry-free warranty.
Which means?
When it wears out, we replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life?
For as long as you're an A-List member. You get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchie's
worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchie.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
An organized home is a happy home and a happy homeowner. John Curley here. Closets by Design made me and my home happy. Experience the quality and backing of a national brand with friendly local Seattle service. From booking the appointment to a free in-home consult to installation day, Closets by Design will leave you wowed and clutter-free. Right now, get up to 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months financing and free installation. Visit closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to schedule today.
You have what?
8 pairs of readers, one by the laptop, one in the car, one on top of your head that you forgot is there.
Now it's possible to see near and far and everything in between and stop hunting for readers forever. Refractive lens exchange, or RLE, is a quick, innovative procedure that replaces your eye's lens with a crystal clear one so you can see near and far for life. Schedule your personalized evaluation today at nearandfarvision.com.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state. Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Through trusted relationships and national reach, CVS Health is uniquely positioned to simplify care. Learn more at cvshealth.com/investor day. That's cvshealth.com/investor day.
For 50 seasons,
sold out Kingdome as the Seahawks get ready to go down on the field.
When it comes to passion,
the blitz is on, the ball pops loose, picks it up in the 15 to the 10 to 5, touchdown Seahawks!
and noise.
Make a little noise. He's resetting his running backs. Penalty flags all over the place. They're going to blow the play dead.
And dedication. It's always the 12s, celebrating 50 seasons of Seahawks football. Visit Seahawks.com/tickets today.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. 2 people are dead and at least 9 others are injured following a shooting Sunday at Brown University. An investigation is now underway to find the person responsible. CBS's Christian Benavides has more.
Students ran towards police with their arms in the air as SWAT teams fanned out across the Brown University campus.
There were some people that were very shaken for sure. Like 2 girls that we were with had been in the building just like moments before and then ran over.
In Australia, authorities say 12 people were killed in the Bondi Beach shooting, and one of the 2 gunmen was also killed. The other gunman was wounded and is in custody. Authorities say the shooting targeted the Jewish community on the first day of Hanukkah during a beach festival celebrating the start of the holiday. At a news conference, New South Wales Premier Chris Minns says their hearts bleed for the Jewish community.
What should have been a night of peace and joy celebrated in that community with families and supporters has been shattered by this horrifying, evil attack.
Police said 29 people were wounded, including 2 officers. Here in Washington, southbound 167 has reopened in Kent and Auburn. A 6-mile stretch of the road was closed late Saturday night between South 212 and 15th Street Northwest. A number of surface streets near the Green River have also been closed in Auburn and Kent. No word on yet when the northbound lanes will reopen. A level 3 do not wait evacuation is underway right now in Auburn due to flooding of both the Green and White Rivers. Greg Bailey's tells KIRO 7 TV he watched crews evacuate his neighbors from an apartment near his home.
Never have I seen it this in 50 years. I'm almost 60, and never have I seen this river look like this. It's very alarming. I think it's cause for concern.
The affected communities are north of South 42nd Street and south of 277th Street. President Trump approved an emergency declaration for the state after historic flooding devastated communities here in Western Washington. Bob Ferguson says he spoke with Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
No guarantees of financial resources. I did discuss that, though, with Secretary Noem. She did mention the fact that there's a potential for resources to help us out in the short term with the situation that we're facing.
He plans to go back to the feds to ask for a disaster declaration, which would lead to more financial aid. Westbound I-90 is closing today near Cle Elum to replace the Bullfrog overpass. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun has details.
A truck hit it in late October, so crews had to demolish it. Construction starts later today and will last through Friday. During the closure, all westbound traffic will be sent on to the on and off ramps at exit 80, so expect some slowdowns there.
For your KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic, we have to alert you about northbound I-5 on SR1. Troopers are en route to a 3 semi and 1 vehicle crash. All northbounds there are fully blocked. Also, I-405, there's a crash right before exit 24, so there's slowdowns there. And US 2 remains closed near Stevens Pass. Other drive times, Maryville to Seattle, about 40 minutes right now. Edmonds to Seattle, about 25. Everett to Bellevue, 37. And Bellevue to Renton, about 18 minutes. Now to your KIRO News Radio forecast for this Monday. Monday morning. It's going to be a really soaking wet day. Rain and wind all throughout the day. There's going to be a mix of sun and clouds in there, but highs will be in the mid-50s. Right now, it's about 52 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO News Radio.
Now, a British couple sparked a global movement for a smartphone-free childhood.
And joining us with her weekly parenting feature, here's Katrina Gashard.
Good morning, guys. It all started with two parents in England, Daisy Greenwell and Joe Ryrie, when their 8-year-old daughter asked for a smartphone because everyone else had one, and they decided to push back. Greenwell found research suggesting heavy smartphone use damages mental health in young people. So she posted on Instagram asking, what if we could switch the norm and unite for a smartphone-free childhood? And she tells CBS News.
That post went viral and thousands of parents joined the group overnight. And within a couple of weeks, there were smartphone-free childhood groups in every county.
Today, the grassroots campaign has spread to 39 countries, with families pledging no smartphones before age 14 and no social media before age 16. The movement inspired this viral ad here in the U.S.
Hey, kiddo, it's about time for bed, okay?
Okay.
Well, remember, there's a box in the corner over there with all the pornographic material that's ever been made in the world, even the really weird stuff that could scar you for life. I'm trusting you not to look in there, okay?
This message was shocking enough to spark debate across social media platforms, and now governments are paying attention. This week, Australia became the first country in the world to ban social media accounts for children under 16. Tech giants like Meta and TikTok must enforce age restrictions or face some serious fines. Meanwhile, the UK says it's watching closely, though no similar legislation is planned just yet. But parents like Joe Ryrie in the smartphone-free childhood movement say this.
This isn't an anti-tech movement. This is a pro-childhood movement. We're not saying no smartphones ever. We're not saying no tech ever. We're not saying no internet ever. We're just saying children don't need unrestricted access to the internet in their pocket 24/7 when they're young.
Many families are turning to simple brick phones that allow calls and texts but block internet access. One study reveals sales of these so-called dumb phones are up 150% among Gen Z in the U.S.
It's a dumb phone. No addictive social media. Great. But also no WhatsApp, no Slack, no email, and no favorite public transit apps.
But in the UK, 1 in 4 kids between the ages of 5 and 7 already have a smartphone. So when it comes to changing that norm...
So if your child then knows, okay, I've got 5 other kids, 10 other kids in my class who are delaying smartphones for a few more years, then that peer pressure dissolves. Just makes it a lot easier for families to say, okay, we're going to just wait a few more years. We're going to get a brick phone in the meantime. It's not that hard. We can do this.
Whether it's grassroots campaigns or government bans, childhood offline just might be a new trend.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah. I look at this. Manda and I, at least, are old enough to remember a time before the internet. And in a lot of ways, I think childhoods were simpler then. But at the same time, I've got 2 teenagers now. Removing the cell phone from them, the smartphone, would be like removing an appendage. So it's just a different time we're living in. But good luck on keeping them as smartphone free as they can for as many years as they can.
5 years old? Really?
Yeah.
That's so young. But I mean, it's so easy, so convenient. So I do understand it. But I think just for your health, just for your eyesight even, why not?
I was shooting for 14 with my daughter, and then COVID happened. And that kind of blew that out of the water.
I think that happened with both my kids, too. It really... What else are you going to do? You're in COVID. You're trying to work in, it's not the best parenting, but it's real parenting. So that happened. Good conversation starter, Katrina.
Thanks. You.
Coming up, we'll have national headlines. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
The Northwest's trusted news source.
We're learning that it was 2 brothers who were fatally shot in Lacey.
KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
More than 140,000 fentanyl pills and powder were seized.
Experienced voices you trust.
A fierce budget fight is coming down to the wire.
Coverage you can depend on.
King County's $20 billion budget.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/22/26, new customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Tess, what's up?
Oh, the CFO needs me to book a week of travel. I'm days behind on invoices. The plants in the lobby are dying, and now I have to order lunch for 80 with gluten-free options.
Just use ezCater.
ezCater?
One platform built for workplaces. Tons of great restaurants, any group size, with tools to meet dietary needs and stay on budget. Plus, rewards.
Rewards?
You earn rewards points when you order. Good for discounts or even gift cards for you.
Now that's what's up.
ezCater, the easy, rewarding way to order food for work. Order now at ezCater.com.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A Scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about Scouting.
Holiday shopping got you stressed? The Mariners have you covered. Grab a season ticket membership for the super fan in your life, and they can lock in the best seats and benefits like guaranteed postseason access. Or mix and match with single game tickets for everyone on your list, from opening day on March 26th to must-see matchups against the Yankees, Phillies, and more. This holiday season, make Mariners.com your one-stop shopping destination.
Oh, he makes the catch! What a snag by Julio Rodriguez!
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends. And explore the lively nightlife scene. The dining district at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
CBS News Brief. Hunt for a killer in Providence, Rhode Island after 2 people were killed, 9 wounded in yesterday's shooting at Brown University. Mayor Brett Smiley.
We have shared the image of the individual we believe to be the shooter. We know that there is not a clear shot of the face.
8 of the 9 wounded critical. 10 people have been killed and at least 12 wounded in a shooting at a music festival at Australia's famous Bondi Beach. The BBC's Phil Mercer says the attackers apparently opened fire from a bridge.
From that bridge, it is understood that the shooters then attacked this music gathering.
2 suspects reportedly in custody. We'll have more at the top of the hour. And after 2 U.S. Army soldiers and their interpreter were gunned down in Syria, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth warns.
If you target Americans anywhere in the world, you will spend the rest of your brief, anxious life knowing the United States will hunt you, find you, and ruthlessly kill you.
CBS's Willie James Inman reporting. CBS News Brief, I'm Vicki Barker.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast on this Monday morning, rain early today. It'll be windy with a mix of sun and clouds and more rain this afternoon. Prepare for that heavy rainfall. It'll be Highs in the mid-50s. Right now, it's about 52 in downtown Seattle. Coming up right next, the celebration of Hanukkah began yesterday evening, and it is especially poignant for a holiday this year. We'll have more on that next. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
So, what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
On Monday, two former Israeli hostages, Maya and Itai Regev, will share their remarkable story of survival, faith, and courage.
The brother and sister were kidnapped by Hamas and held hostage for more than 50 days.
Their father, Elon, will speak about his emotional fight to secure their release. The event's happening on the second night of Hanukkah. It will feature a public menorah lighting as well.
We're joined now by Chabad Lubavitch Rabbi Sadia Davidov of the Chabad of Shoreline. Sadia, thanks for being here today. Really a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you for having me on. It's great to be here.
Tell us about the story of these hostages. What happened?
Well, as I'm sure you know, October 7th came around, and over 1,200 of our brothers and sisters were murdered. Over 250 or so were taken captive. The exact numbers are not in my brain right now, but somewhere around that number. And Maya and Itai were among them that were brutally taken hostage against their own will to the murderous tunnels of Hamas. And they were there for hundreds of days, unfortunately. And the courage that they had to experience was, and the amount of suffering that they went through is unspeakable, unimaginable suffering. And it was, just for the mere fact that they are Jews, which is absolutely, it's just a reminder that, there's still a lot of work to do to bringing more light into this world to dispel the darkness.
Tell me more about them. I mean, just a beautiful brother and sister. I believe she's 22 and he 18, around that age anyway.
Yeah.
But they survived together. I just can't imagine the horror they went through.
Yeah, I don't exactly know the ins and outs of their personal story. I'm not quite sure whether they were held together the entire time of captivity or whether their captors separated them at times. I don't exactly know the ins and outs.
But you'll learn more.
I will learn more.
Event.
I'm very excited to go to this event for this. Yeah, absolutely.
So many of our Jewish brothers and sisters have been through so much over the past 3 years. Mm-hmm. Tell me what this sort of event means for the Jewish community, especially as we approach Hanukkah.
So I'm so glad you asked, because it very much ties into the message of Hanukkah. So if I take you back about 2,500 years ago, okay, a pivotal moment in Jewish history happens where a small group poorly organized group called the Maccabees. They managed to overthrow the Seleucid Greek regime, which was an oppressing Jewish people in ancient Judea from being able to practice their faith and being able to openly express who they are to the public. And they oppressed their way of life, mainly paganism and idol worship as well, to the Jewish population living in ancient Judea at the time. The small and militarily weak Maccabees managed to miraculously push them out of ancient Judea. And one of the things that the Greeks did while they were there is that they defiled the Holy Temple in Jerusalem, and they took the menorah, and they pretty much destroyed every single jug of oil, defiled every jug of oil that was there that was meant to be to kindle the menorah. Finally, the Maccabees, the Jewish people, they came into the temple and they realized that they have no way to light the menorah. So they started the search all over the temple, and they actually found one little jug of oil. That little jug of oil was enough to last one night to be kindled in the Hanukkah menorah. Now, in case I didn't mention what a menorah is a 7-branch candelabra that was traditionally lit in the temple, in the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. And every day it was lit by the high priest. His name was the Kohen Gadol. That was his title in Hebrew. So they come and they found this one jug of oil to light the candelabra, the special candelabra in the main foyer of the temple. And they went and they kindled it. The problem is that in ancient times, it took 8 days to bring a new shipment of olive oil. So what happens is another miracle happens. The candles stay lit for 8 days. And a tremendous miracle. They managed to rededicate the temple, and Jewish revival began once again. Jewish survival and the Jewish people once again able to freely live in their land and practice their faith without any fear of oppression. And so that's a miracle, I think, that very much ties into what you're saying here. What this story means to us is that there was a moment of suffering. There was a long moment, we should say, a couple of years of tremendous suffering for the Jewish people, for our brothers and sisters. And I feel like Maya and Itai are like a physical brother and sister of mine. That's how the Jewish people feel about one another.
Rabbi, we live in a very politically charged world right now. How can we and our listeners and viewers help support Jewish friends and neighbors?
It's a great question. There is definitely an overarching message of Hanukkah, which I think stands true for every point of political spectrum, wherever you land on. And that is that the message of Hanukkah is about that a little bit of light dispels a lot of darkness. You see, this was a teaching that our holy Rebbe, the Lubavitcher Rebbe of blessed memory, has taught millions of people throughout his lifetime, is that the power of a little bit of light. When you are in a dark room and you light even a tiny little candle, that candle has the ability to push away a whole ton of darkness.
That brings us to the event. Can you tell us more about the big event at Seattle Center?
Sure. So Maya and Itai will be there. They'll be sharing their story. And I think why their story is very important is because very few people get a true glimpse of what true evil and darkness is like, and how to get delivered from that evil and darkness back to goodness, back to life. It's almost like they got their life back. It's incredible. I think hearing their story is extremely important, especially for the young generation. I want to actually, at this moment, maybe encourage parents who are listening to the show, bring your teenage children to the show. Bring your college-age children. Encourage them to come to watch to hear their story. I think this is ever so important to reset, to recalibrate a little bit, to understand that there is true goodness in this world and there is true evil and darkness in this world. And our job as a society is to fight that darkness, not with sticks and stones, but to fight it with goodness and kindness. And that goodness and kindness will ultimately prevail.
And Rabbi, I was going to ask, and it sounds like you're answering that, if I'm a Christian, if I'm a Muslim, if I have other faith in my life, am I welcome at this event?
Not only you're welcome, you're encouraged to come.
And this is Monday at Seattle Center, correct?
Yes.
All right, Rabbi Sadia Davidov, thank you so much for being here today. We'll have some more information about this over on our website, mynorthwest.com.
Oh, fantastic. I'll go check it out.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast on this Monday morning, lots of rain ahead for us today. Highs will be in the mid-50s. Right now, it's about 52 in downtown Seattle. Coming up next, more on Seattle's Morning News. I'm Katrina Gouchard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
This is Ricky Rubio, point guard for the Phoenix Suns.
And I'm Holly Robinson Peete, actor and along with Ricky, ambassador for Delivering Jobs. We know that a job is empowering and instills confidence. Yet 81% of adults with developmental differences don't have a paid job, even though companies that employ people with differences report better morale and higher productivity.
There are 6.5 million people in the U.S. with an intellectual or developmental difference such as autism.
And now, thanks to Autism Speaks, Best Buddies, the Holly Rod Foundation, and Special Olympics, there has never been more opportunity to improve hiring practices and build a more inclusive workforce. Join me, Ricky Rubio, and these amazing organizations in supporting and creating pathways to 1 million employment and leadership opportunities for this talented community.
Visit deliveringjobs.org to learn more.
That's deliveringjobs.org.
Make this the last holiday season in that old kitchen. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear-out. You won't believe the difference. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. With Heritage Homecraft, custom means built from scratch just for you. Our own craftsmen, not subcontractors, will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it all off with a brand new quartz countertop. With the holidays here, I know everyone's busy, but if you order your new Heritage Homecraft kitchen now for select install dates after the new year, I'll give you 12% off the entire project. Hey, all year long and especially next holiday season, you'll be delighted that you did. Call today, Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hey, it's John Curley. If you're having joint pain, this will interest you. This Wednesday night at 6, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
What joints have you seen really good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, one of the most experienced in the country with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go pain-free in 2026. Join his free live stem cell webinar this Wednesday night at 6. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Yep, it's raining out there.
Integrity Roofing and Construction is your trusted local roofing team. Integrity offers free estimates, and their customer satisfaction speaks for itself. They'll keep your home leak-free and protected from the northwest rains. Visit integrityrc.com to schedule a roof assessment or video inspection today. With years of experience in roofing and restoration, their skilled team can help with a simple roof repair or a full renovation. Don't wait until the next storm hits. Schedule your free estimate today. Visit integrityrc.com. That's integrityrc.com.
What's your holiday tradition? For most, it's gathering with a joyful meal. Unfortunately, for many families, that tradition feels out of reach. To help, please donate to Nourishing Neighbors the next time you're at Safeway checkout or visit nourishingneighbors.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Eggland's Best.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A horrific ending for a legendary Hollywood movie director. Police say Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle are dead in an apparent homicide at their home in L.A. Deputy Police Chief Alan Hamilton.
At this time, the Los Angeles Police Department is not seeking anyone as a suspect or as a person of interest or in any other manner, and we will not be doing that until we conduct our investigation and we move forward.
Correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti is outside the Reiner home in Brentwood.
Investigators not immediately releasing details on the circumstances surrounding the deaths. There are multiple media outlets now reporting, including the Los Angeles Times, that a family member is being interviewed in connection with the deaths.
The Reiners had 3 children. 78-year-old Rob Reiner starred in All in the Family and directed iconic movies like The Princess Bride and When Harry Met Sally. Australians are reeling after a mass terror attack on a Hanukkah celebration at Bondi Beach in Sydney. Police say 15 people were killed by a father and son who used legal weapons to stage the shootings. Correspondent Anna Corin spoke with a relative of one of the victims.
Rabbi Eli Schlanger was among the dead. He and his wife had just welcomed the birth of their 5th child. We spoke to his brother-in-law.
She's in shock, but she's obviously, broken. It's something that no person should ever have to endure.
The elder shooter, born in Pakistan, was killed by police. His son, an Australian, was tackled by a bystander. Classes are canceled at Brown University after 2 students were killed, 9 wounded during a study session Saturday. Police say a new manhunt is beginning after they released a person of interest. CBS's Tom Hansen has more from Providence.
Freshman Alex Mihalovich was studying with friends when he heard gunfire.
We were close to an exit, so we just ran straight for that.
Mihalovich said it wasn't until he was outside that it became clear there was a shooting.
He said he saw someone lying on the floor, so at that point we just looked at each other and just ran.
The Hong Kong trial of a high-profile pro-democracy campaigner has ended in a guilty verdict. CBS's Vicki Barker at the Foreign Desk.
Media tycoon Jimmy Lai has been found guilty of colluding with foreign forces under the controversial national security law imposed on the former British colony by its masters in Beijing. The 78-year-old faces life in prison when he's sentenced early next year. Lai was one of the biggest funders of pro-democracy campaigners in Hong Kong. He's denied all the charges against him.
Tourists in Paris disappointed after workers went on strike at the Louvre Museum today.
We went up and asked, when will it open? He said, probably not this morning. For sure not this morning.
This is CBS News.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Monday morning at 6:03, we check traffic on the 3s, and it's going to be a busy morning for one Chris Sullivan.
Yeah, it's going to be very busy for our drivers out there. I've not experienced this much standing water on southbound I-5 in a long time. So if you're coming down from Snohomish County, you better watch yourself and be careful. Slow down, everybody. Of course, our biggest impact out there for our commute this morning is that northbound 167 remains closed between Auburn and Kent. All the northbound routes in that general area are just messed up because of this. The ripple effect, there is a bumper-to-bumper drive from westbound 18 all the way up the hill to 18, and a lot of people are just sticking with I-5. So Tacoma to Federal Way is already running 40 minutes. That is a 20 to 25-minute delay. A little bit further to the south, all lanes of northbound I-5 blocked at 101 in Olympia. 3 semis and a car involved in a crash. Fortunately, the injuries are reported to be minor, but one of the semis is jackknifed. You're being taken off the freeway and right back on right around it. Rest of the map, Federal Way to Seattle, already 15 minutes behind schedule at 45 minutes. Rented to Bellevue's a half an hour. 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's Morning News.
Good morning. It's 6:04. A brief weekend reprieve from the rain did little for flood victims in Skagit County. And with the return of the atmospheric river yesterday, families in Auburn braced for spillover of the Green River. We have team coverage this morning. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey in the Skagit Valley with the continuing impact there, and our James Lynch in Auburn, where water has shut down stretches of Highway 167. And let's begin in the South Sound with James Lynch. James, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie. I'm here at the American Red Cross Shelter at the Auburn Community and Event Center. It's open 24 hours a day for those fleeing floodwaters here in Auburn. So far, 83 people are being sheltered here after floodwaters forced them from their homes. That number expected to rise along with floodwaters. Marcinda Wilkes with the American Red Cross says the goal here is to make families as comfortable as possible until they can return home.
We're offering a warm place to stay, food, and a place just to come and relax.
Now, if you're going to be out and about this morning, please be on the lookout for standing water on the roadways. As Sully just reported, 167 northbound is still closed between Auburn and Kent. And on my drive here, I drove through standing water on I-5 and SR 18. Give yourself a little extra distance and drive with caution until the dawn breaks and it's easier to see the road in front of you. Live in Auburn, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Now we head north of Skagit County, where KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live. Luke, what do you see?
Yeah, good morning, Charlie. Good morning, everyone. I just reiterate what James just said and what Sully said as well. Driving here on I-5, puddles of water here and there. It was really nasty driving up here. Here's what I'm looking at. The good news here in Burlington, where I am, is that there is no more flooding. The Skagit River level has receded to the point where there is no flooding, but the cleanup is going to be underway today. There were dozens of homes here flooded just last weekend. I'm on South Anacortes Street, if you know where that is in this area, right over a bridge that is over the Gages Slough. You remember on Friday, the Gages Slough, which is connected to the Skagit River, started flooding. It sparked an emergency evacuation order by the mayor. The National Guard troops were here going door to door to try to get people out. You can hear that machinery in the background there. That is a massive set of pumps that are pumping water from a narrow section of the slough to a wider section a little further away in anticipation of more rain coming tomorrow and the rest of this week. Now, the Skagit River predicted to rise to major flood levels again tomorrow and Friday. Not as bad as last week. Thankfully, good news here for Burlington and Mount Vernon, which is nearby, just down the interstate, and the Skagit Valley. That the flooding is over for now, and it doesn't look like, and there's no indication that it will be as bad as it was last Friday here in Burlington. Also, no injuries in this area, thankfully, as well. The cleanup, again, underway this week. Live in Burlington, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
And Reed Wolcott with the National Weather Service warns that because of all the previous rain, it won't take much to create more flooding problems.
We are completely saturated. There are still trees submerged. Soils are extremely loose. It does not take 50-mile-an-hour winds to knock over trees, cause power outages, fall onto vehicles, houses, etc.
Forecasters say the Cascades and Olympics could see from 3 to 6 inches of rain, while the I-5 corridor could expect 1 to 2 inches as far south as Central Oregon.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Midway point of the month, Monday, December 15th. Good morning. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda Factor has the day off. Sully's here, though. Good morning, Sully.
Morning, Charlie.
I live in Auburn, so I've been able to see a lot of the damage. And one thing that really, so many things have me concerned, but I'm not sure people realize the extent of what has happened at 277th and Auburn Way there. The Chevron station, it's flooded. I drove by there over the afternoon on Friday. The fuel tanks have ruptured. And so all of that fuel has hit the farmland and everything right around there. I could smell gas like a mile away I drive an EV, so I know it wasn't coming from my car. But that's a bad situation. In addition to all those homes that are flooded, people evacuated, just a mess in Auburn.
Yeah, and I took a look at Snohomish over the weekend as well. I drove Lower Larimer Road. For people who don't know, that's right along I-5, but on the downhill side toward the valley from Everett down. All the farmland is under about 5 to 8 feet of water. I saw massive machinery underwater, all the farms, all the crops, all the animal waste. It smelled like gasoline on that whole stretch. And I drove by Marsh Road, the road that I would take to my favorite little driving range there at Snohomish, which is under 5 feet of water now. The Marsh Road, you just drive right into the water. It looks like a boat ramp.
Yeah.
It's so sad. This is, we haven't seen anything like this in over 20 years.
I live on top of a hill, and so we go down the hill, a lot of flooded parking lots. The Bikini Barista stand down the hill from my place, it's flooded. It's waterlogged. They can't open.
I'm pretty sure they'll find a way.
They'll find a way. All right. This hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control. Coming up, we'll have Crime and Punishment, our weekly check-in with Casey McNarthy of the King County Prosecutor's Office. Tells us about a program with the Prosecutor's Office that helps keep low-level criminals from repeating their crimes. And we'll also remember film legend Rob Reiner after his death of him and his wife Michelle yesterday. That's coming up on Seattle's Morning News. 6:10 now. Governor Ferguson says federal help is on the way in the wake of this week's flooding.
Governor Ferguson spoke directly with Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, and FEMA has granted his request for an emergency declaration.
No guarantees of financial resources. I did discuss that, though, with Secretary Noem. She did mention the fact that there's a potential for resources to help us out in the short term with the situation that we're facing.
Right now, the focus is on rescue and cleanup operations. Then Ferguson will work with local and county leaders to assess the financial damage. At that point, they can go to the feds to ask for a disaster declaration, which could lead to money for those areas affected. Frank Lenzi, KIRO Newsradio.
And because this is such a big deal with the weather, let's get a quick check now. We have Nick Allard joining us from KIRO 7 TV, brought to us by State Roofing and Exteriors. Nick, this is something I was reading over the weekend. The Pacific Northwest is going to be the rainiest spot on Earth aside from the tropics today. It is coming down.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised considering if you look at a satellite how far south this band of clouds that's over us, this atmospheric river, stretches farther south and west than Hawaii does. And we're going to see a lot of rain. We've already had almost 3/4 of an inch in Seattle just since midnight. The good thing about the rain today is it is going to be a little more showery versus like the steady rain we've had so far. So in a couple of hours, it's going to taper off a little bit to showers. The problem is it will be kind of at times heavy. So you'll find some pockets of heavy showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two. Also windy, and we have a wind advisory until 10 o'clock tonight. We've already had gusts in the 40 and 50 plus range to the coast, and we've had mid 40 range inland, and I think gusts could be around 45 miles per hour or higher until this evening, and we'll have really mild temperatures in the upper 50s and lower 60s. So some showers, some thunderstorms, some windy weather, and all rain for the mountains. And then tomorrow we have another couple of rounds of rain coming in, but especially getting heavy tomorrow night. And with that system, I actually think the wind could get stronger late Tuesday night into early Wednesday. There's already a high wind watch in effect for gusts above 50, 55, or even 60 for some places possible in western Washington. Now, the entire area has the high wind watch, but we're going to be able to narrow it down a little more as we get closer to it. But, man, it's going to be very windy tomorrow night and early Wednesday morning. And then Wednesday morning, that rain turns to showers and snow levels plummet to 2,000, 2,500 feet. Then we're looking at like 1 to 3 feet of snow for the mountain passes and higher through Thursday with more rain in the lowlands and windy weather. So it's an alert day today through Thursday with one of the more active weeks I can remember in a while across the area.
Well, except for last week.
Yeah, but this is going to be even more widespread and impactful if you ask me. I mean, we had the flooding issues that were terrible. The flooding will not be as bad this time. But if you look at potential power outages and you look at potential downed trees and you look at how much rain for days and shutting down probably interstate travel because of the snow, I think if you look days on end of this, it could be more impactful.
Okay, Nick, thank you for that update. Just a crazy month of December in the weather. It's 6:13, and we head over to Sully for traffic.
Yeah, we've got two big issues going on the board. I'll start with the one that we all know about, or we should know about, is that 167 remains blocked in the northbound direction between Auburn and Kent. We still have too much water over the roadway to allow them to reopen. Southbound opened about an hour ago, so that's positive. But every other northbound corridor in that general area is just jammed up, the ones that are open. And what we're seeing is a lot of people just going up 18 westbound to try to get to northbound I-5. And so it's bumper to bumper. And a lot of people are just staying on I-5 in general. And so Tacoma to Federal Way is running at 40 minutes. That's a 25-minute delay. Now, our other big issue, northbound I-5, all lanes are blocked just south of the 101 interchange in the Olympia area. Crash involving 3 semis, one of them jackknifed, has blocked all the lanes there. You're being detoured off the freeway and then right back on around it. So this is causing a sizable backup getting into the Olympia area. The rest of the map, about what you might expect. I mean, Federal Way to Seattle, again, has a lot more people on it because the valley is closed. 45 to 50 minutes already. That's about 15 minutes behind schedule. Renton to Bellevue is about a half an hour. We've had a couple of crashes along the corridor there. Over 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, but it's not too bad in Marysville. So Snohomish County is doing a lot better than we saw on Friday. This report brought to you by Closets by Design, custom storage solutions for closets, garages, home offices, and more. Go to Closets by Design to see the current specials or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to learn more.
6:15 now. Taylor Swift released the first episode of her behind-the-scenes Eras tour, and Katrina is here with details.
She got emotional as she opened up about the foiled terror plot that caused her to cancel a set of shows back in 2024.
We dodged like a massacre situation. And so I've just been kind of all over the place. Like there was this horrible attack in Liverpool at a Taylor Swift themed dance party. And it was little kids that...
You could hear how difficult it was for her to talk about it, but there's also a new illustrated biography about Swift and her fiancé, Travis Kelce, that let fans plan the couple's big wedding day.
Okay, thank you, Katrina. It's now 6:16.
Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's Morning News, wherever you are.
On Mondays, we check in with Casey McNerthney from the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office for our Crime and Punishment segment. All right, it's the holidays, Casey. I know a lot of times it can be kind of rough, this stuff you come in here with us, but you tell me you have some positive news.
Yeah, so last week I was talking to our LEAD team, and LEAD stands for Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion. And they were talking about a guy in his 60s who had a really positive case and really shows how you want the program to work. LEAD is something that has been around for several years, and it helps with folks who are involved in nonviolent felonies. You know, this guy had been in the cycle of misdemeanors. He had a felony case from the 80s for a robbery case, not an armed robbery case, but, you know, still a serious case, but, you know, hadn't had a felony in, 30 plus years, but was in this kind of just cycle of misdemeanors where he needed help, and jail alone wasn't working. Samantha Murray is a deputy prosecutor in our office and a LEAD liaison. Here she is explaining his situation.
So he's now in his mid-60s. So this has been somebody who had been dealing with houselessness, undiagnosed mental health issues, and undiagnosed or untreated substance abuse issues for the majority of his life, but hadn't committed or been convicted of any felony crimes for the last 20 plus years.
And Seattle police had this case. He was arrested for a stolen vehicle possession. And SPD looked at this and said, this might be somebody who would be good for LEAD. And referrals can come from them. And a lot of different folks are involved here. Seattle police, the mayor's office for years, the city attorney's office in Seattle. And here's another clip from Samantha explaining the point of LEAD.
Our goal in this collaborative community safety program is that we're working with individuals who are currently engaging or who are at high risk of engaging in lower level criminal activity. And they're normally engaging in this lower level criminal activity due to poverty, houselessness, or untreated mental health or substance use disorders.
So this sounds like it's violent crime, you're out. But if you're just doing a bunch of petty stuff, they think you might be able to rehabilitate them.
Yeah. And it really helps having a lot of people at the table, and having a lot of adults in the room to say, all right, what would work well here? And the point is decreasing recidivism, not seeing them over and over in this cycle that we're all frustrated by. I asked Samantha, I said, what did this guy accomplish? What was the progress that you saw? And here's how she answered that.
He addressed multiple outstanding warrants across multiple jurisdictions. He engaged with his defense attorneys where some contact had fallen apart. He made sure he appeared at all of his hearings for the open felony matter with our office. He expressed a desire for mental health treatment that he hadn't previously. He successfully got on methadone treatment. He got a job, and it was recently reported to us that he actually is asking for more hours, which is amazing.
So here we have a situation in the city of Seattle where fentanyl is at the root of so many issues. Don't know this guy's exact addiction of choice, but she did mention methadone going on that. That's opiates. So here we have a situation where you are helping him get the mental health treatment he needs, the drug treatment he needs, and then also helping guide him into getting his life together instead of just letting him sit in a tent or go boost or do any of these other things that affect the quality of life for so many people. It's a real holistic approach, but it does take some strong outreach from a bunch of different leaders in order to make this happen.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's a month or years long process. You can have folks who are in it. It's not just one day or 1 week. It's usually months, sometimes years. That support. One thing that Sam said is, if you think about when we do taxes or we get a permit from the city to get a house remodel, it's a long process, and usually we have an accountant or a contractor who's helping us with that. If you don't have that and you need mental health services or you need housing, or you need somebody to help you through it, and that's what LEAD does. I'm sure people are hearing this going, okay, great, rah, 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 but what about the victims? What about accountability? Here's what Sam had to say about that.
After a lot of collaboration, our office actually offered him a misdemeanor resolution. And that is a credit for time served resolution with a suspended sentence. But this is where the accountability part comes in. He is being offered this opportunity to continue all of his progress, right? But all this means is that he is not required to spend any more time in jail on this matter at this time, as long as he doesn't contact the victim, he pays restitution or pays money to the victim for any damage to the property that was done by him. He cannot have any new law violations, and he also is required to receive a mental health evaluation and then comply with all that recommended treatment. So even though we are helping connect these dots and give him opportunities that he hadn't otherwise had, he still has a conviction on his record, and he still has to comply with orders from the court that give justice to the victim, right? But then also doesn't perpetuate this criminal behavior.
So that is interesting because he is admitting his guilt and he is paying the victim back, and he also has a criminal conviction on his record. He's not going to be spending more time in jail unless he offends again.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. What you see here is what you want to have happen, breaking that cycle of recidivism, and really that's the point of LEAD, is to have a whole bunch of, thoughtful people saying, how do we, SPD, the mayor's office, the King County prosecutor's office, the city attorney's office, saying, how do we keep this person from reoffending? And when you have a program that works, this case is what it looks like.
Okay. Well, I would be super interested in the months and years to come to see how effective this is in terms of keeping people from reoffending. And I think that's a question for another day.
Sounds good. We'll do it.
Casey McNerthy, King County Prosecutor's Office, here on Seattle's Morning News. Time to check in with Sully now for traffic on the threes.
And we are definitely seeing the ripple effects of the closure of northbound 167. This is basically causing I-5 to take all of the traffic that would normally be split between two freeways. And as you would imagine, you have a backup that begins in Fife and goes almost all the way up to Kent. So you have basically about a 40-minute trip from Tacoma to Federal Way. There's your first 25-minute delay. And then you've got about 40 minutes to get you up into South Center. There's another 20-minute delay. So that puts us close to an hour to make it from Federal Way to Seattle. And again, that's all because of the closure of northbound 167 right there in the Auburn area and extending all the way up to Kent. We're also seeing a lot of slowing on westbound 18, trying to join into I-5 as people look for any way to try to get around this. Also, any other northbound route that is open through the valley is going to be very, very jammed. So this is not a good day coming up from the south end. And then I'm going to go a little bit further to the south where we still have northbound I-5 blocked both directions right as you get through Tumwater, basically right before the 101 interchange. 3 semis involved in this crash, and minor injuries, fortunately. One of them, though, is jackknife, so you're being exited off the freeway and around this to try to, mitigate that, but it is a pretty sizable backup there as well. The rest of the map, Renton to Bellevue, we've got about 30 minutes for you guys. The lake bridges are fine. Coming out of the north end, it's not too bad in Marysville. There is some westbound slowing on 2 and 204. Fortunately, SR9 is open, but it looks like only one of the 2 lanes from time to time southbound are open through Marsh Road down to Lower Larimer because of what they're dealing with there. And then we have about 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube. Click subscribe. Get fresh video content daily.
Heavy rain this morning, tapers off to showers, might even dry out for a bit later this afternoon. Rain tomorrow, and also, by the way, tomorrow, wind in the afternoon. Could be potentially very windy at times. And then by Wednesday and Thursday, rain in the lowlands and heavy mountain snow. Right now in Seattle, it's raining and 51. And coming up, we'll have KIRO team coverage of this week's new atmospheric river that's causing all sorts of problems around the Puget Sound area. That's coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
The Northwest's trusted news source.
We're learning that it was 2 brothers who were fatally shot in Lacey.
KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch has more.
More than 140,000 fentanyl pills and powder were seized.
Experienced voices you trust.
A fierce budget fight is coming down to the wire.
Coverage you can depend on.
King County's $20 billion budget.
KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Retirement used to feel like something way off in the distance, and suddenly it's not. And like so many of you, I want to make sure the money I've spent a lifetime saving will actually last. That's why I work with Trajan Wealth. Ursula Roytine here. My husband and I recently sat down with Marty, and she took the time to understand our goals, our financial situation, and what we want the next chapter to look like. And because Trajan Wealth advisors are fiduciaries, they're required to put your interests first. The plan she came up with isn't shaped by commissions or products. It's shaped around our lives. Trajan is veteran-owned, and they specialize in helping people with $500,000 or more in savings build a smart, long-term strategy. So if you're starting to think seriously about your retirement, start with a team I trust. Call Trajan Wealth at 206-656-3300 or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC-registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home. Thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earn. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
Your local credit union, WSECU, believes in making a difference. That's why they're recognizing Washington's community champions, everyday people who strengthen the fabric of our communities. Steve Rabel here with WSECU board member Marcus Glasper, and it's time to announce our next community champion.
Our community champion this week is Matthew Ballantyne in Lacey. Matthew builds beds for children in need through his organization, Sleep in Heavenly Peace. Thank you, Matthew, for providing more kids the benefits of a good night's sleep.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/22/26, new customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Make this the last holiday season in that old kitchen. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear-out. You won't believe the difference. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. With Heritage Homecraft, custom means built from scratch just for you. Our own craftsmen, not subcontractors, will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it all off with a brand new quartz countertop. With the holidays here, I know everyone's busy, but if you order your new Heritage Homecraft kitchen now for select install dates after the new year, I'll give you 12% off the entire project. Hey, all year long and especially next holiday season, you'll be delighted that you did. Call today, Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Schedule a free inspection with Groundworks, the foundation and waterproofing experts.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for detail.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. This holiday, treat yourself to the best present of all, a hot tub from Olympic. Through Christmas Eve, our Santa Loves a Smart Top event will save you up to $4,800 on your new tub and include an amazing smart top for free. This awesome hardcover handles Northwest weather, locks in heat, and looks fantastic. Santa loves a smart top, and so will you. It's the perfect gift to put under the tree. Details at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Red Hawks rising. Seattle U's men's basketball is hosting some big games at Climate Pledge. Grab your tickets at goseattleu.com/tickets. Our next home game is December 19th against UW.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
The heavy rain and flooding continues. Good morning. I'm Charlie Harger. We have team coverage this morning with KIRO News Radio's James Lynch in Auburn, where a flooded Green River has spilled over onto the streets, and Luke Ducey in Skagit County, a community heading into its second week of flood devastation. Let's begin live in the South Sound. James Lynch, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie. The USGS reports the Green River has actually dropped about a foot in the last 24 hours, but there is little indication of that on the ground here. The Green River currently sits at 68.4 feet. There's still a level 3 evacuation get out now order for your own safety. The American Red Cross has a shelter available here at the Auburn Community and Events Center. 83 people are seeking shelter from floodwaters here, and Marcinda Wilkes with the American Red Cross says that number is expected to rise.
We are expecting it to pick up. They're still evacuating some places, so this is just a comfort zone for them to come to.
Now, shelter doors here are open around the clock until emergency passes. Help and shelter available here whenever it's needed for those forced from their homes. Live in Auburn, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Now let's head north to Skagit County, where we find KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey, who joins us live. Luke, what do you see?
Yeah, Charlie, you probably hear that machinery in the background. I'll explain what that is in just a second, but conditions here are much, much better than what James just described. No flooding of the Skagit River here, but you remember last Friday, it was the Gages Slough, which is a slough that is connected to the Skagit River. that corkscrews through the city of Burlington, which is where I am. It flooded, sparking an emergency evacuation order Friday morning when it was still dark out. National Guard troops sprung into action, had to go door to door to try to get people out. Well, that machinery here on South Anacortes Street, where I am in Burlington right now, is a massive set of pumps pumping water from some narrow sections of the slough to some wider sections. They want to get that water out now in anticipation of another round of rain coming this week, starting tomorrow. The Skagit River is predicted to rise to major flood levels at least 2 more times this week. Not as bad as last week, thankfully. Also, thankfully, here in the Skagit Valley, with all the water and flooding they've had the last week, no injuries. The cleanup, though, continues. Live in Burlington, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
And all of this historic flooding is bringing out kindness. Here's Heather Bosch with the story.
A donkey brays as Julie Jones giggles.
They're barn.
She's relieved.
I've been on pins and needles for the last few days.
Jones breeds miniature Mediterranean donkeys in Mount Vernon. When record flooding was forecast along the Skagit River, her 68 donkeys were in danger.
I didn't have children, and so they're like my kids.
She told KIRO Radio's Jake and Spike she posted on social media asking for help, and the response was overwhelming.
I have 3 fields to go to that are just right up the road. I've had people from as far away as Ohio offering help.
Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
Time to check traffic now. Chris Sullivan, it's a busy Monday morning, and I don't even want to guess where you're going to start.
Well, I mean, you know where I'm going to start because it is the biggest impact on our local commute, which is the closure of northbound 167. We actually just had a listener hit us on the text line and go, well, why is it closed? Well, it's still underwater. This is still the aftermath of last week's flooding and the continuing flooding along the Green River and through the valley there. So they haven't been able to safely reopen northbound 167 between basically Auburn and Kent. Southbound reopened this morning. So, maybe that's some positive. We can maybe hope that in the future, northbound will reopen. And so what this has done is it's really put all the people from 167 onto I-5. And we're bumper to bumper from Puyallup to the Puyallup River all the way up through about the Kent-Des Moines Road. Now, because of that, 40 minutes from Tacoma to Federal Way and an hour from Federal Way to Seattle, with 40 of those minutes to South Center. That's about a 40-minute delay trying to get from Tacoma to Seattle. As you would imagine, westbound 18 also caught up in this as people are trying to make their way to I-5. And so every other northbound corridor in that general area is caught up in this as well. So it is not pretty. Northbound 405 continuing to struggle at the north end part of that drive up to Bellevue. Crash near Coal Creek Parkway, still causing some slowing. 30 minutes from Renton to Bellevue. Coming down from the north end, 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. 2 and 204 heavy through the east end of the trestle. And Highway 9 is slow south of Marsh Road. It looks like only one of the 2 lanes is actually open there after the flooding. Up in Marysville, we're losing a couple of minutes, but nothing you can't handle. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Rain heavy at times this morning, starts to taper off to showers this afternoon. Might even have a little bit of partly cloudy skies. And tomorrow, more rain, more wind. Very windy at times. We're kind of concerned about what that might do to trees with all these waterlogged conditions in the soil. So we will be keeping an eye on that. Next few days after that, we'll also have rain in the Seattle area and snow up in the mountains. So buckle up this week. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 54. Time for the opening bell report. With the Federal Reserve's quarter-point interest rate cut behind us, all eyes will focus on the labor market. CBS's Jill Schlesinger has the latest on the job market for the back half of 2025.
There has clearly been a real downshift in the labor market since the summer. We started the year off kind of growing and creating jobs, but that's kind of behind us. And so you might say probably starting in about May, things just really were slowing to a crawl. And that's probably how we enter the end of the year and maybe even the beginning of next year. We'll see if things change, but it's been described as a low hire, low fire labor market, meaning not a lot of jobs created, but not tons and mass layoffs, a little bit here and there.
We'll have more with Jill coming up at 7:15.
Americans are falling behind on car payments at an alarming rate. I'm Ted Rossman with the Bankrate Personal Finance Minute. Overall, auto loan delinquencies are at their highest level in 15 years, according to the Federal Reserve. And the situation is even worse for borrowers with lower credit scores. Fitch Ratings says the subprime auto loan delinquency rate is an all-time high in a data set that stretches back more than 30 years. What's going on? Rising car prices and interest rates have combined to push monthly payments much higher. Many borrowers are stretching out their car loans for longer periods of time, too. That lowers monthly payments, but accumulates a lot more interest in the long run. On top of that, increased costs for gas, insurance, and maintenance are squeezing household budgets. Bankrate estimates these hidden costs add up to $575 per month. Thinking of buying something new? It might be smarter to stick with your old car for another year or two, if you can. And when it's time to buy, think about the total cost of ownership, not just the sticker price. For more, check out Bankrate.com. I'm Ted Rossman.
Buy now, pay later services reached a milestone recently. Here's Jeff Colvin.
Buy now, pay later services allow consumers to buy things and pay for them typically through 4 payments, often with no interest. On Cyber Monday this year, consumers spent $1 billion through buy now, pay later services, a new record. Buying through those services can be a terrific deal, spreading your payments out with no extra cost as long as you always pay on time. But those services, such as Affirm, Afterpay, and Klarna, make their money by charging late fees that many consumers incur. In addition, it's so easy that some shoppers buy more than they can afford. And if an item is faulty or a scam, these services generally lack the same dispute protections as credit cards. Bottom line, as the holidays arrive, use these services with discipline. I'm Jeff Colvin.
And all of the major indexes opened the morning up about 0.25%. That means the Dow is up 127 points, the S&P 500 is up 18, and the NASDAQ is up 55. Now a word for KIRO 7 News Live starting at 4. It's news that puts you there so you can see for yourself. News is happening now so you're ready. News that investigates to get you answers. News that's local because where you live matters. No more, no now on KIRO 7 News at 4, 5, and 6 p.m. Okay, Sully, traffic is coming up. What's your hotspot?
Well, we've got about a 4-mile backup now on northbound I-5 trying to get into Olympia. Northbound 5 is blocked there. We'll break it down for you next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
The Northwest's trusted news source.
We're learning that it was 2 brothers who were fatally shot in Lacey.
KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch has more.
More than 140,000 fentanyl pills and powder were seized.
Experienced voices you trust.
A fierce budget fight is coming down to the wire.
Coverage you can depend on.
King County's $20 billion budget.
KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Yep, it's raining out there. Integrity Roofing and Construction is your trusted local roofing team. Integrity offers free estimates, and their customer satisfaction speaks for itself. They'll keep your home leak-free and protected from the northwest rains. Visit integrityrc.com to schedule a roof assessment or video inspection today. With years of experience in roofing and restoration, their skilled team can help with a simple roof repair or a full renovation. Don't wait until the next storm hits. Schedule your free estimate today. Visit integrityrc.com. That's integrityrc.com.
It's 6:43, and we check in with Sully at the traffic desk.
And we have two major issues going on this morning. The first one on I-5 northbound, trying to get into the Olympia area. All northbound lanes of I-5 are closed there right before you get to the 101 interchange. That's because of a crash involving three different semis. One of the semis has jackknife. So we have no real good estimate on when they're going to reopen things. You're being detoured off the freeway and then right back on, but there is a sizable delay there in the area. Now, the other issue, the closure of 167 northbound. There's between Kent and Auburn. That's because of water remaining over the roadway from the flooding of the Green River. We don't have an estimate on when those lanes are going to be reopening, but the ripple effect of this is pretty simple. Everybody who would normally be on 167 is now on I-5, except for a few other northbound routes through the valley, which are barely moving. But we're looking at about a 40-minute trip from Tacoma to Federal Way. That's a 20-minute delay there. And then we have an hour from Federal Way to Seattle. That's about 15 minutes slower than it should be for a typical Monday. Renton to Bellevue, very slow at the north end part of that drive. Basically, you're bumper to bumper from Sunset all the way up to Coal Creek Parkway. Right lane remains blocked there. 40 minutes to go from Renton to Bellevue. That's about a 15-minute delay. The drive across the lake is not bad. Southbound 5 and 405 are really heavy away from Linwood already, where there might be a crash near 220th on I-5. Give yourself about an hour now to go from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. And we're struggling out of Snohomish today. Southbound 9 is open, but only one lane as you get past Marsh Road, as they're continuing to work with the damage from the flooding last week down there in the Snohomish Valley. So big-time delays in that corner of our map as well. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Rain dies off a bit by this afternoon to showers. Might even dry out for a little while, but we have more showers tomorrow and a potential of damaging winds in the afternoon tomorrow. So we need to be ready for that. Then on Wednesday and Thursday, we're looking for rain in the lowlands and snow, heavy at times in the mountains. So here we go. Right now in Seattle, it's 54 and raining. The Heisman Trophy, college football's highest individual honor, was presented this year to an Indiana quarterback. Katrina has a story.
Fernando Mendoza was the first Indiana player to ever win the prestigious award. Mendoza led the Hoosiers on a historic run this season to a #1 ranking and the top seed in the college football playoff. Listen to his emotional acceptance speech on Saturday night.
Mommy, this is your trophy as much as it is mine. You've always been my biggest fan. You're my light. You're my why. You're my biggest supporter. Your sacrifices, courage, love, those have been my first playbook and the playbook that I'm going to carry through my side through my entire life.
I think every mom in the room was crying. The Indiana Hoosiers are going to play in the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day.
Okay, Katrina, thank you for that. It's 6:46. Coming up, we're waking up to news that filmmaking legend Rob Reiner has died along with his wife, Michelle. We're going to take a look at his legacy on the way here on Seattle's Morning News.
Hey, Brock Ewart here. It's such a joy for me to be joined by Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, I've heard so much about traveling physical therapists. What's that mean to you and IRG?
That's a great question, Brock. Traveling physical therapy right now, I think, is a fad, and a lot of young therapists are doing it, but they're missing opportunities that we provide here at IRG. And those things we provide at IRG are really important, and that's being part of a team and treating patients, building relationships, engaging with our community. That is so important. The other thing is they're not getting paid time off. A crew are paid time off, and they do not get continuing education, professional growth, and that is so important as a young therapist to have access to professional growth. The other thing is we have an enhanced compensation program here at IRG that our physical therapists, our occupational therapists can increase their earnings by engagement, outcomes and intervention. That's what we're all about. We're about building a great culture for young therapists and all clinicians to work here.
Openings across the whole company. Head over to irgpt.com/careers, irgpt.com/careers.
An organized home is a happy home and a happy homeowner. John Curley here. Closets by Design made me and my home happy. Experience the quality and backing of a national brand with friendly local Seattle service. From booking the appointment to a free in-home consult to installation day, Closets by Design will leave you wowed and clutter-free. Right now, get up to 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months financing and free installation. Visit closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to schedule today.
Make this the last holiday season in that old kitchen. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear out. You won't believe the difference. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. With Heritage Homecraft, custom means built from scratch just for you. Our own craftsmen, not subcontractors, will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it all off with a brand new quartz countertop. With the holidays here, I know everyone's busy, but if you order your new Heritage Homecraft kitchen now for select install dates after the new year, I'll give you 12% off the entire project. Hey, all year long and especially next holiday season, you'll be delighted that you did. Call today, Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Tragic news. We've learned that legendary director and actor Rob Reiner is found dead in his home alongside his wife, Michelle. There is a homicide investigation ongoing. One of the great filmmakers of our generation. Our lead editor with MyNorthwest.com, Frank Summerall, a massive movie buff. He joins us now. Frank, big picture, Rob Reiner. What did his contributions to film mean to someone like you, somebody who loves movies?
Well, I think when people get frustrated with where films are now in 2025, they reflect on, man, where's a good courtroom drama? Mm-hmm. Where's the good rom-coms? Where's the good coming-of-age stories? You subconsciously think of Rob Reiner films, and of that 90s period. I mean, he had one of the most ridiculous director runs we've ever seen. You could name Scorsese, Spielberg, Spike Lee, Paul Thomas Anderson. His director run belongs with all those names and then some. When it goes back to Stand By Me, goes to Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, Misery, Few Good Men, American President.
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap was what he kicks off with. And he's one of those guys that if you think of Adam Sandler's production company and you think of Margot Robbie's production company and any A-list star that is now getting more involved in creating their projects, he set the blueprint for that because he creates Castle Rock, which is this huge production company in the 80s. And you know what Castle Rock actually produced, which is one of the all-time things, was Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Every single thing this guy did, he hit a home run with, whether it was All in the Family, where he won 2 Emmys for that performance. He was nominated 5 times. Directing all of these classics that we've just mentioned. And then even in the producing space, creates something, or his production company creates Seinfeld, one of the most iconic television programs ever. And then obviously there's all this advocacy work, whether it was the LA fires or more political things like that. He was hitting homers in every single project and venture he tried in the entertainment industry. It is an unbelievable loss.
Super quotable. So many movies. You think about it. I mean, you can't handle the truth. I'll have what she's having. You can think of these lines, turn it to 11. So many of these lines from his different movies. What movie stands out to you? If you had someone listening right now, maybe they're a little younger. They don't know a Rob Reiner movie. What are you having them watch?
I saw when Seattle did the viewings during the summer where you're out in the lawn under the Space Needle, I watched Princess Bride, and everyone was quoting that movie to the screen. It was a really incredible moment.
Inconceivable.
So that one's up there. Me personally, it's Stand By Me.
Yeah.
And what he does with those child actors, it's some of the best child performances ever with Will Wheaton, with River Phoenix. That one sticks out the closest to me. A Few Good Men's one of probably the most iconic.
When Harry Met Sally is so
it's
Seattle.
the best of its genre. And one of the things is he never had a visual style a la like a Tarantino, where you watch a Tarantino movie and you go, oh yeah, that's who that guy is. He just got great performances each and every time. You think about Kathy Bates, you think about Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, you think about the kids in Stand By Me, Carrie Elwes, like all of these actors and actresses had their best work under Rob Reiner in these incredible, original, rewatchable films. And he's the kind of creative person that this industry is missing in the 2020s. And it's just even more tragic now that we've lost him in real life.
He brought so much joy and just so much thought to so many of the movies he did. Frank Summerall, mynorthwest.com. Thank you for joining us. Love talking movies with you. We'll have you back again soon.
Sounds great.
6:53 now. Sully is here with traffic on the 3s.
And we continue to struggle going northbound out of the valley today. Northbound 167 remains closed between Auburn and Kent. Water remains over the roadway there. And so what that has done is put a bunch of people on I-5 who would normally not be there. And we're seeing 20-minute delays in a couple of different spots. One of them is on northbound I-5 as you try to make your way from Tacoma up through Federal Way. That drive is at 40 minutes. That's just a ton of people who would normally be on the valley. Westbound 18 is also jammed up all the way up to I-5, and that's added a few more customers from Federal Way on up through South Center. That drive is at 35 minutes now and an hour all the way from Federal Way to Seattle, so not pleasant. Looking at northbound 405, we're running at 40 minutes now, about a 10-minute delay for you guys. Crash blocking the right lane near Coal Creek Parkway has kind of been behind us most of the day. It looks like that might have just cleared, but either way, where the damage is done. Out of the north end, right lane is blocked in Mount Lake Terrace on southbound I-5 as you make your way down to about 220th. Give yourself about an hour from Everett into Seattle, also about an hour from Everett to Bellevue. That's just a lot of volume. Looking at Highway 9 is still jammed up out of Snohomish. Southbound 9 is open out of Snohomish, but the left lane is blocked halfway through the valley there. So a lot of people have gone over to Highway 2 again today, and it's bumper to bumper from Highway 9 all the way across the trestle. Ugly day for you guys there. And then southbound I-5 is struggling through Marysville, 30 minutes from Arlington to Everett. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
And we're expecting rain to die down to showers later today. Tomorrow, showers and rain, and then heavy winds could be damaging. So busy next 36 hours or so in front of us. Right now in Seattle, it's 54. Coming up, we have live team coverage of the latest flood devastation in our state. James Lynch in Auburn and our Luke Ducey live in Burlington on KIRO News Radio.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
What's your holiday tradition? It's G. Scott here. For me, it's gathering with loved ones around a meal that brings joy. For many families, that tradition feels out of reach. Next time you shop at Safeway, please donate to Nourishing Neighbors. Your gift provides groceries to families across Washington, giving them access to nutritious food and the dignity to shop like the rest of us and choose what's meaningful for their holiday table. Visit nourishingneighbors.com and donate at your Safeway checkout. That's nourishingneighbors.com.
John Curley here. As humans, we value things that last. Local businesses, long-term relationships, people who have been in the community for years. That's Madrona Financial and CPAs. For decades, they've been serving Washingtonians, and what makes them different? They combine taxes and investments under one roof. Most firms do one or the other, but not both. Taxes are often your biggest retirement expense, bigger than travel or healthcare. Yet most never get a clear look at how taxes and investments fit together. That's why Madrona offers the Madrona Analysis. It's an easy-to-understand review of your retirement picture, income, taxes, investments, all working together in one coordinated plan. Best of all, it's conversational. You'll talk with someone who explains it all in plain English. Discover hidden tax traps, see if your portfolio matches income needs, and learn steps to retire with confidence. Call 833-673-7373 for your complimentary Madrona Analysis. Madrona Financial and CPAs, local, trusted, and here to put the whole picture together.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
It's a freezing night, and suddenly your heating dies. A fix could take several days or longer. Don't let this happen to you. If your system's 12 years or older, it's on borrowed time. Upgrade now to a dependable Mitsubishi electric heating and air conditioning system and keep your family comfortable. Schedule a consultation today at HomeComfortAlliance.com. For all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, visit HomeComfortAlliance.com. That's HomeComfortAlliance.com. And happy holidays to all.
Take your business to the next level in 2025 with help from WaFd Bank. WaFd Bank's business accounts and cash flow tools get you paid in hours, not weeks, so you can grow your business and meet your goals. You need a best bank. Visit WaFdBank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by CVS Health.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Hollywood is reeling after the deaths of legendary director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle. Jerry O'Connell starred in Reiner's movie Stand By Me. The actor tells CBS Mornings.
Just really surreal and still in shock, to be honest. Just still in shock. Rob was like a father to me.
Correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti is outside the Reiner's mansion in the Brentwood neighborhood.
Investigators have not yet immediately released details on the circumstances surrounding Reiner's and his wife's deaths, but multiple outlets, including the Los Angeles Times, are reporting a family member is being interviewed in connection with the deaths.
Can you confirm that? And is that family member being cooperative?
There are going to be many family members interviewed. I'm not going to confirm whether someone's being interviewed at this time or not.
Rob and Michelle Reiner married in 1989. They have 3 children. Police in Rhode Island say a new manhunt is underway after they released a person of interest in Saturday's mass shooting at Brown University that killed 2 students and wounded 9 during a study session on campus. CBS's Tom Hansen has more from Providence.
7 remain in the hospital in stable condition. 1 is in critical condition, and a 9th person has been released. Meanwhile, the university has canceled all remaining finals and classes.
Charges are expected against the surviving suspect in the Hanukkah shooting in Sydney, Australia, that killed 15 people and injured dozens.
After Australian police confirmed one of the Bondi Beach gunmen owned 6 registered firearms, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese promised speedy action.
Included in that is the need for tougher gun laws.
The Pope praying for the victims, but in Britain.
This is clearly not an isolated incident.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer recalling October's Yom Kippur massacre here.
These incidents are chillingly focused on some of the holiest days in the Jewish calendar.
Noting the danger danger to Jewish communities stretches beyond Australia's borders. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
A trial begins in federal court in Milwaukee today for Judge Hannah Dugan. She's accused of helping an undocumented man hide from ICE agents. Loyola Law's Lori Levinson.
Judges are not usually put on trial, and it's quite unusual until recently for ICE to go into courthouses, let alone into courtrooms, to seize individuals.
That high-risk trip from Venezuela to Norway proved painful for opposition leader Maria Corina Machado. A spokesperson for the Nobel Peace Prize winner says she fractured her vertebra on the first leg of her journey in a small wooden fishing boat that took her to the island of Curacao. She flew on from there in a private plane to Oslo. Dow futures up 59. This is CBS News.
Through trusted relationships and national reach, CVS Health is uniquely positioned to simplify care. Learn more at cvshealth.com/investor day.
7:03. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
And it is not getting easier out there across the board. We continue to struggle with road closures from last week's storm, and the storm that's really we're still in the middle of, if you think about it. Northbound 167 remains blocked between Auburn and Kent. We have way too much water over the road to safely open it. And so every other northbound area that is open in that corridor up the valley is going to be a very rough drive. So the ripple effect here is what we've really seen is everyone is staying on westbound 18, and that's bumper to bumper up to I-5, and then I-5 itself is taking almost all that extra volume from 167. So you're going to be on the brake lights from the Puyallup River Bridge all the way up to about 272nd. Give yourself 40 minutes, maybe 45 from Tacoma to Federal Way. That's plus 20, 25, and then 40 minutes up to South Center and well over an hour from Federal Way to Seattle. Northbound I-5 remains blocked in Olympia for a crash involving 3 different semis. One of them jackknifed. Got about a 5-mile backup right there. It's right before you get to 101. You're being detoured off the freeway and right back on to get around this thing. Rest of the map, about an hour from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Looks like we might have cleared the crash near Mount Lake Terrace. And up in the Snohomish area, we continue to struggle. Westbound 2, bumper to bumper from Highway 9 all the way across the trestle. That's because people still don't want to go down SR 9 after the closure last week. It is open, but only one lane of it is open, and that's causing a pretty significant backup. This traffic report is brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's Morning News.
7:04. Thanks for joining us. I'm Charlie Harger. It was a mess over the weekend in Auburn with a spillover of the Green River, and in Skagit County, a bit of a weekend reprieve, but it did little for flood victims there. We have team coverage this morning with KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey in the Skagit Valley with the continuing impact, and our James Lynch is live in Auburn where water has shut down stretches of Highway 167. Let's begin in the South Sound with James. James, where are you now?
Charlie, I am in Auburn at the Auburn Community and Events Center where the American Red Cross has a shelter set up. I drove through pounding rain and flash flooding on the highway to get to Auburn this morning, but the rain has stopped here, at least for the moment, although the USGS says the Green River has dropped about a foot in the last 24 hours. The situation here is still dire in Auburn. Flooding continues to be a major problem. Homes and roads are underwater, and there is a level 3 evacuation order to get out now for those living in low-lying areas closest to the Green River. If you need shelter, Marcinda Wilkes with the American Red Cross says they have a warm, dry place for you and your family.
If you are looking for a shelter, we are at the community center here in Auburn, and the doors are open, so you're welcome to come.
Now, the American Red Cross and authorities here in Auburn say that if you are aware of that level 3 get out now order, they say don't wait, leave your home now. They say the exit routes from many communities here are going away as water on some roadways continues to rise. Live in Auburn, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Now we head north to Skagit County where Luke Ducey joins us live. Luke, where are you?
In the middle of Burlington on Anacortes, South Anacortes Street, where the rain is picking up, which a lot of people here have feared might happen this week. I mean, it's in the forecast, of course, another atmospheric river on the way. That's what they don't want here is the Skagit River just started to recede significantly over the weekend after reaching major flood stages last week. I'm in Burlington because What happened last Friday, you might remember, is the Gages Slough, which is a slough that corkscrews through the city here, connected to the Skagit River, began flooding early Friday morning, causing an evacuation order, a get out now, level 3. National Guard troops going door to door trying to help people get out. What you're hearing in the background now, though, is the slough has receded in areas, and the cleanup of those flooded houses, dozens of them in the city, start today and over the weekend. That's a giant pump that you're hearing. It's pump water from a part of the slough to a wider section, get that water moving through this community because of this rain that's starting now. It's supposed to pick up tomorrow, of course, and then again on Friday. The Skagit River again going to flood to major levels, according to NOAA, tomorrow and Friday. Good news is, though, they got through that first round last week with nobody injured and no major rescues. Charlie, back to you.
Luke, thank you. The flood wall protecting residents in Mount Vernon may have kept the flooding from being even more destructive. Senator Patty Murray praised flood prevention efforts over the weekend, saying it was a big help.
This investment in this wall really made a difference for this community in lives and dollars and businesses in this community.
And again, no confirmed deaths or significant injuries so far due to these floods. President Trump approved an emergency declaration for the state after that flooding devastated communities in western Washington. Governor Bob Ferguson says he spoke with Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
No guarantees of financial resources. I did discuss that, though, with Secretary Noem. She did mention the fact that there's a potential for resources to help us out in the short term with the situation that we're facing.
Ferguson says he plans to go back to the feds for ask for a disaster declaration, which would lead to financial aid.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Little on the nose, don't you think, Nick?
Sometimes you got to be like that.
Yeah, a rainy week, and here comes the rain again. So we're going to check in with Nick Allard in just a couple minutes to find the update to the forecast. It looks like tomorrow might be especially dicey. We are Seattle's Morning News. Manda has a day off. I'm Charlie Harger. That is producer Nick Kreisha, who is running the control room board and picking the tunes today. Show producer David Burbank is here as well. You know you're my producer, David.
Nick does some producing himself.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I was a little hurt that
he produces the tunes.
That's right. Different kind of producing.
Yeah, that's right. We have Katrina Gishard out in the newsroom, and of course we have out in the field both Luke Ducey and James Lynch on a busy weather morning. Coming up this hour of the show, we'll have CBS business analyst Jill Schlesinger with a look at the labor market this year and what were the big trends. We'll ask her. And in today's commentary, what American values really look like. That's on the way here on Seattle's Morning News. For the first time in 43 years, Kent canceled its Christmas Rush 5K and 10K. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas.
City Parks and Recs team says it's not safe to hold that event with all the water flowing onto the course. The city says it considered other options and alternatives, but ultimately had to cancel. The more than 800 people who did register should have received an email for notifications about refunds.
Meantime, a deadly hit and run under investigation in Kent. State Patrol says a 55-year-old man was hit and killed Saturday night while walking along State Route 516 near Meeker Street. Troopers say the vehicle, believed to be a Honda Pilot, was heading eastbound when it hit the pedestrian, fled the scene. Man was pronounced dead at the scene, and the roadway was closed for several hours. Seattle police investigating a fatal hit and run in the Beacon Hill neighborhood. Shortly after midnight Sunday, officers responded to Beacon Avenue South and South Stevens Street, where a 38-year-old bicyclist was found unresponsive in the roadway. Medics tried to save him, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. Witnesses say the cyclist was crossing Beacon Avenue when a southbound vehicle hit him. And westbound I-90 is closing today near Cle Elum to replace the Bullfrog Overpass. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Dee Dee Sun.
A truck hit it in late October, so crews had to demolish it. Construction starts later today and will last through Friday. During the closure, all westbound traffic will be sent on to the on and off ramps at exit 80, so expect some slowdowns there.
has been just a mess for drivers, so hopefully this will clear things up. 7:12 now. Let's get a check on a busy weather forecast. It's brought to us by State Roofing and Exteriors. Nick Allard, we are most definitely not out of the woods yet.
Nope. We have another system coming in now. We've had some really good rainfall already today, and we have a lot more coming from today through tomorrow into Wednesday and Thursday. It's windy out there as well, at least it will be. Some places already are, but it's going to be windy with a wind advisory all over the place. Gusts could be around 40 or 45 or higher for a lot of us today, and we'll see showers at times with some thunderstorms, easing a little bit of that wind into tonight. And then tomorrow we'll see a couple rounds of rain pushing in, getting heavier again in the afternoon and evening, and then potentially even windier tomorrow night with a high wind watch in effect into early Wednesday. And then as we're into early Wednesday, our snow levels will come down to around or below the passes, and you're going to see a couple feet of snow in the mountain passes through Thursday, while the rest of us are dealing with a couple different peaks of river flooding. Skagit could go back to major again on Tuesday and Wednesday. A lot of rivers go into the moderate range again on Tuesday and Thursday. So we just have a couple peaks and rivers. We have the potential for landslides, down trees, lots of snow in the mountains. It's just messy. No matter how you look at it, somehow, some way, the weather is going to impact you or what you do this week. So please find a way to stay safe, find a way to be prepared for it, because there's a lot coming.
Okay, thank you. We are bracing ourselves. Right now in Seattle, it is raining and 54. 7:13 now. Chris Sullivan has traffic on the threes. Busy morning for you as well.
Yeah, when we lose one of our major freeways, it causes a ripple effect in a big way. And that freeway that we've lost today is northbound 167. It continues to remain underwater from the flooding of the Green River between basically Highway 18 and Auburn up to about 277th in Kent. So that's a pretty sizable stretch, and that takes a ton of volume every day. So those cars all have to go somewhere. And most of them are on Highway 18 right now in bumper-to-bumper traffic trying to get up the hill to I-5 and then onto northbound I-5. And this has put a bunch of people on northbound I-5 as well. So we've been struggling through Fife. We've had a couple of crashes there. We might have another new one right by 54th again. Plus bumper to bumper up to 18. It's going to take you 40 minutes from Tacoma to Federal Way, and then Federal Way to Seattle's running right over an hour. To the south, we continue to struggle getting into and through Olympia. All northbound lanes of I-5 are blocked. Right before you get to the 101 interchange, you're being detoured off the road and then right back on there. So plan on lengthy delays. This involves 3 semis, 1 jackknifed. Federal rented to Bellevue's in about 45 minutes now. We had an earlier crash near Coal Creek Parkway. Southbound 5 and 405 look about normal. Hour drives for you guys, maybe a little more. Bumper to bumper through Marysville, 35 minutes. Arlington to Everett. A bunch of people on westbound 2 today to avoid Highway 9, and it is bumper to bumper as well. So it is still very ugly. This report brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. This holiday season, give the gift of Mariners baseball. Grab tickets to next season's biggest games, like opening day on March 26. Mariners.com/tickets.
Maybe a little palate cleanser now. Toddler twins work in tandem like a pair of thieves on an Ocean's 11 heist. Here's KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gashard.
A Texas mom says she was busy doing laundry when her 3-year-old twins called for help in the kitchen. She asked them to wait just a minute, but naturally they could not. So they put their tiny little heads together and solved their candy problem themselves. When mom Megan Williams walked into the kitchen, she just couldn't believe what she saw and took out her phone. Listen to this.
Got it.
Apparently, Brennan used his twin sister's head as a makeshift stool to reach the candy on top of the kitchen counter. Megan says her twins are very independent and certainly love their candy.
As a mom of toddlers, I can sense you relate to this very, very much.
Yes, I'm not sure what I'll see next with my kids.
All right. Thank you, Katrina. 7:16 now.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
Monday morning, and Jill Schlesinger from CBS News joins us to break down what might be the strangest jobs report in recent memory. Let's start here, Jill. October's jobs data. We're skipping that month?
Yeah, no do-over, no nothing. Just it's like October never happened. Remember that Halloween costume? No, you never put it on. At least according to the Labor Department, because the government was shuttered, and there were no employees of the Bureau of Labor Statistics to gather the data. So we need to kind of, let's put a placeholder in October for a second. What we think happened in October from alternative measures of employment and announcements is that we probably saw job losses in October, mostly because of the federal government. Remember, there was earlier in the year where people were able to elect to retire early, and that was going to hit in the end by October and some a little bit in November. So we think there were job losses in October because of those federal workers. We won't know for sure, but now we're into November, and now the question is how many jobs were created in November? And the answer is all over the place in terms of people who are kind of sussing it out. I've seen some economists saying we think that there were job losses, others that think there were job gains. I'm going to give it a guess of like consensus estimate is, maybe 40,000 jobs created in the month of November. The unemployment rate likely remained at 4.4%. That would be unchanged from where we were back in September. And that's kind of where I think we land. The more interesting thing is that there has clearly been a real downshift in the labor market since the summer. We started the year off kind of growing and creating jobs, but that's kind of behind us. And so you might say probably starting in about May, things just really were slowing to a crawl. And that's probably how we enter the end of the year and maybe even the beginning of next year. We'll see if things change, but that's, it's been described as a low hire, low fire labor market, meaning not a lot of jobs created, but not tons and like mass layoffs, like a little bit here and there.
Okay, on JillOnMoney.com, your blog, you point out that it was about 182,000 a month jobs being created pre-pandemic, 76,000 this year. You use the word crawl. When does that crawl become concerning?
Well, I think if we see widespread job losses, then we're concerned. Someone said, is this a jobs crisis? It can't be considered a jobs crisis if we're still net adding jobs every month. Maybe we don't need to add as many jobs as we once did because of AI and productivity, and maybe there are fewer people seeking jobs because of changes in immigration policies. But I think we start to get nervous if all of a sudden we see like a slew of companies in lots of different industries saying, yeah, we laid a bunch of people off. And that has not yet happened.
All right. We also talk about how young college grads are actually facing a higher unemployment rate than the broader population. What's going on here?
It's a conundrum. I might just start by saying that, because we're talking about people who are 22 to 27 years old. And that this is probably you've heard this from friends of yours or young people who are reporting back to you. Like the anecdotal evidence is clearly there, but it's also that we know from data that that young college graduates are carrying higher unemployment rates than they have in the past. So what's happened here is that we see that that it's just kind of hard to get a job for these folks, and we don't know the why. I know that you want to just say it's AI, but it can't be just AI, because this is a trend that has been going on for decades. And so I dug into some research at the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland, and they basically said that it's an interesting thing that it used to be relative to the broader population that people who had college degrees, you were really paid better, you had more job security, there was lower unemployment rate. And so what we now know is that the idea that you can find a job quickly with a college degree, that advantage is starting to shrink. And so what we really do understand is that some of the long-standing job market advantages that you had by having a college degree, some of those are eroding. And it doesn't mean that it's gone. It just means that the employment advantages you used to have as a college grad, they're shrinking a little bit. There's still advantages, just not as good as they used to be. And we don't really understand exactly the why yet, because this is a trend that is sort of moving in slow motion, but does seem to be gathering some steam now.
Okay, I'm the parent of two teenagers, Jill. Is college still worth it?
I think college is still worth it. And I think that what is important is that you don't go into debt to get that college degree, or some small amount of debt, not crazy. I also think that when you look at what these kids should be doing coming out of college, a lot of young people will say, I'm doing this, that, and the other thing, certain kinds of jobs that they think are resume builders. Go get a job that pays you some money, get experience. And if you don't have a job, you really have to be proactive. You focus on what you can control. You do raise your hand for any opportunity that it presents itself. You fire up your network. And, you should really be reaching out to almost anybody who can help you out, because a human being on the ground is what's going to give you the greatest advantage. It's funny. It's like, how do you combat AI? You turn to human beings.
Jill Schlesinger, CBS News, a real-life human being, I'm assuming.
Yeah, for now.
For now. Thanks for joining us. We'll check in with you next Monday.
Take care.
7:23 now. Time for traffic on the threes. Chris Sullivan is here.
Yeah, I'm going to start down in the Olympia area, where all lanes of northbound I-5 remain blocked for a crash involving 3 separate semis. One of them has jackknifed. This is right as you're approaching the 101 interchange, and so we're backed up about 5 miles, and I mean not moving kind of back up. You're being detoured off the freeway and around to try to get past this. Once you do, it's not terrible the rest of the way on up. It's only 40 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma, but then you hit the brake lights through Tacoma. We've had multiple crashes today through the rain, through Fife, and we have another one near 54th right now over on the left-hand shoulder. And then you've got a lot of company heading up the Fife Hill to Highway 18. This is all people who would normally be on the Valley Freeway, because northbound 167 remains closed for flooding, basically from Highway 18 all the way up through 277th in Kent. And so we're seeing about a 40-minute trip from Tacoma to Federal Way, and then Federal Way to Seattle's running well over an hour. Westbound 18 is jammed up from 167 up the hill, because that's where people have to go to get around this closure. Once you're through that, Renton to Bellevue's heavy today, but manageable at about 35 minutes. The lake bridges are still okay, though I-90 is seeing a little bit of braking. Also getting reports there might be a crash on eastbound 90 approaching 405. I'll have more for you on that in 10 minutes. Jammed up through Marysville today. We're looking at 40 minutes, Arlington to Everett. Westbound 2 is bumper to bumper from Highway 9 all the way across this EB Island over across the trestle. That's because southbound 9 is not a fun drive today. Southbound 9 is open in the valley there from Marsh Road down to Lower Larimer, but only one of the 2 lanes. Left lane remains blocked. Once you get over to the I-5 corridor, it's bumper to bumper through Shoreline. Crash near 145th, kind of setting the table there. Hour and 15 Everett to Seattle, about an hour and 5 Everett to Bellevue. So yeah, welcome to Monday. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Heavy rain will taper to showers later today, and tomorrow we'll start off with showers, then rain, and then wind, potentially damaging winds by the afternoon. Be ready for that. And the next couple of days, Wednesday and Thursday, looks like we'll have a combination of showers and rain. Here in the lowlands, snow up in the mountains. Right now in Seattle, it's raining and 54. Coming up, Luke Ducey is in Burlington. James Lynch is in Auburn as we cover our flooding in the Western Washington area. And in today's 735 commentary, I give Seattle Mayor-elect Katie Wilson major props for a statement she's making. That's on the way here on Seattle's Morning News.
The Northwest's trusted news source.
We're learning that it was 2 brothers who were fatally shot in Lacey.
KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch has more.
More than 140,000 fentanyl pills and powder were seized.
Experienced voices you trust.
A fierce budget fight is coming down to the wire.
Coverage you can depend on.
King County's $20 billion budget.
KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/investorday. This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
After replacing more than 100,000 failing lenses, we have the experience to tell you if it's your right time for RLE.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation with us about K2 Vision RLE to get your eyes seeing young again, permanently.
Go to K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
An organized home is a happy home and a happy homeowner. John Curley here. Closets by Design made me and my home happy. Experience the quality and backing of a national brand with friendly local Seattle service. From booking the appointment to a free in-home consult to installation day, Closets by Design will leave you wowed and clutter-free. Right now, get up to 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months financing and free installation. Visit closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to schedule today.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Holiday shopping got you stressed? The Mariners have you covered. Grab a season ticket membership for the super fan in your life, and they can lock in the best seats and benefits like guaranteed postseason access. Or mix and match with single game tickets for everyone on your list. From opening day on March 26th to must-see matchups against the Yankees, Phillies, and more. This holiday season, make Mariners.com your one-stop shopping destination.
Oh, he makes the catch! What a snag by Julio Rodriguez!
Our Santa Loves a Smart Top event is here. Treat yourself to the best present of all, a hot tub from Olympic. Save up to $4,800 on your new tub with an amazing smart top for free. Ends Christmas Eve. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Here we go again. Heavy rain dumping another barrage across our area, continuing to pound north of Seattle and also the South Sound as well. We have team coverage this morning with KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch in Auburn, where a flooded Green River has spilled over onto the streets. And our Luke Ducey is in Skagit County, a community heading into its second week of flood devastation. But let's begin live in the South Sound with James Lynch. James?
Charlie, the rain has stopped here in Auburn, but the danger still exists. The Green River has dropped about a foot overnight, according to the USGS, but the worst is not necessarily over. The Army Corps of Engineers is managing the flow on the Green River by releasing water from the Howard Hanson Dam. They try to find a balance between releasing enough water to protect communities above the dam without releasing so much water that it threatens communities below the dam. So levels on the Green River could rise and fall as this event continues. Now, the American Red Cross has opened a shelter at the Auburn Community and Events Center for those forced from their home. Doors are open 24 hours a day. If you have to get out on the roadways here, beware of standing water and closed roads. Live in Auburn, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Now we head north to Skagit County, where we find Luke Ducey. Luke, where are you and what do you see?
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm in Burlington, right in the middle of the city, in a neighborhood, South Anacorta Street, where you probably hear that in the background. They have a bunch of pumps going on a street here. They've got it closed down. I'll tell you why. Because, remember last Friday, the Gages Slough, which is a slough that's connected to the Skagit River that runs right through Burlington, it started flooding, and it flooded dozens of homes. What they're doing now is trying to pump water from one section of the slough to another, from a narrow to a wider part, in anticipation of all the rain that they're expecting later this week. The Skagit River, the good news here, is receding. There have been no injuries, no major evacuations of folks, but there was an evacuation order in place on Friday when the slough started creeping up. I raced here from Mount Vernon that morning because Mount Vernon, the seawall had held, and there was good news there because the Skagit River was receding, but again, reached a record level last week, and then this week, it's expected the Skagit River, the river will rise again to major flood stages both tomorrow and Friday, but for now, today, at least the water is gone, and some of that cleanup can begin. We're live in Burlington. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Time to check in with Sully for traffic on the threes.
And our biggest issue getting around today in the Central Sound is the closure of northbound 167. It is still closed because of water over the roadway. Southbound reopened this morning between Auburn and Kent, but northbound remains blocked. And so what we have is a lot of people trying to go different ways to get around because that freeway carries a lot of people. What we're seeing is westbound 18 is bumper to bumper through Auburn, getting up the hill to I-5. That's where your primary commuting option there, and then we're heavy through the Tacoma area all the way up the hill well past Federal Way. So it's going to take you 40 minutes from Tacoma to Federal Way. That's plus 20, and then about an hour and 15 minutes the rest of the way. Northbound I-5 continues to struggle into and through the Olympia area. All lanes northbound 5 are blocked as you get to the 101 interchange. This is for a crash involving 3 semis, one of them jackknife. Southbound I-5 struggling through Marysville, 40 minutes from from Arlington down into Everett. Westbound 2, bumper to bumper from Highway 9 all the way across the trestle. That's because people don't want to use Highway 9 south through the valley. You can, it's open, but only one of the 2 lanes southbound open down towards Lower Larimer. On the I-5 corridor, you've got an hour drive away from Linwood, hour and 20 from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Lake bridges are fine. Rented to Bellevue's running right around 35 minutes. This report brought to you by Wilcox Family Farms. As your family gathers for the holidays, feel good about baking and cooking with locally fresh Wilcox Family Farms eggs. From the Wilcox family to yours, happy holidays.
Rain tapering down to showers, maybe even drying out at times this afternoon, but more rain on the way for tomorrow and wind heavy at times on Tuesday afternoon. Highs both days will be in the mid-50s. By Wednesday and Thursday, we're talking about mountain snow. Right now in Seattle, it's 54.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Time for the 735 commentary. Praise where praise is due. Good on you, Mayor-elect Katie Wilson, for helping remind the world why American values are good values. On June 26, Iran plays Egypt in a World Cup match right here in Seattle. June, Seattle. That's Pride Month around here. And this is now an international incident. Officials from both countries are furious about the scheduling. The Egyptian Football Association sent a formal letter to FIFA demanding they avoid including activities that could provoke cultural and religious sensitivities. Iran's federation president says he'll raise the issue at a FIFA council meeting next week. They want Pride festivities canceled or the game moved. Let me tell you about those cultural sensitivities. In Egypt, authorities use morality laws to target gay people, entrapment through dating apps, arrests for possessing condoms, prison sentences of 3 to 12 years. Even displaying a rainbow flag can land you in jail. In Iran, it's simpler. Being gay is punishable by death, hanging. They have executed thousands since 1979. If you're lucky, you get flogging instead. That's what Egypt and Iran want to protect their fans from seeing. A pride parade, rainbow flags, the radical notion that the government doesn't get to tell you who you are allowed to love. During the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, FIFA demanded that visiting fans respect the host nation's values. They threatened players with yellow cards for wearing rainbow armbands. Security confiscated rainbow flags and hats from fans entering stadiums. The message was clear. When you visit a country that criminalizes homosexuality, you will respect their cultural sensitivities. Apparently, that's a one-way street. Now, Iran and Egypt want to visit a country that celebrates Pride Month and demand we hide our values. They want the same FIFA that enforced Qatar's rules to now suppress Seattle's. Cultural sensitivity for thee, but not for me. Seattle's local organizing committee isn't backing down. They are moving forward as planned with Pride programming outside the stadium. Mayor-elect Wilson put it plainly. We get to show the world that in Seattle, everyone is welcome. I haven't always agreed with Katie Wilson, but on this, oh boy, she is right. We should not cave to pressure from countries that execute people for being gay. This is what American values look like. 2 consenting adults can get married here. The government doesn't get to imprison you for who you love. Americans have worked hard to get to this point. You can march down the street with a rainbow flag, and the worst thing that happens is someone disagrees with you. That's it. Disagreement, not prison, not flogging, not death. Maybe it'll be good for audiences in Egypt and Iran to watch this match, to see the pride flag flying next to the American flag, to see that a city and a country can celebrate and support its entire community, to witness what freedom actually looks like in practice. That's worth showing the world. And if Egypt and Iran don't like it, well, we played by their rules in Qatar. They can play by ours here. And that's a commentary for December 15th, 2025. You can always weigh in. Shoot us a note on the text line, 888-973-5476, or leave a comment at mynorthwest.com. Okay, Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we got a lot of road closures still to talk about because of the weather, and I'm going to start with the biggest one of them, and that's northbound 167. We'll talk about it coming up next.
The Northwest's trusted news source.
We're learning that it was 2 brothers who were fatally shot in Lacey.
KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch has more.
More than 140,000 fentanyl pills and powder were seized.
Experienced voices you trust.
A fierce budget fight is coming down to the wire.
Coverage you can depend on.
King County's $20 billion budget.
KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Quiet down, there she comes. Shh.
Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
7:43. Now let's check in with Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
And it continues to be a struggle for those of you trying to get up from the valley, into wherever you need to go in the northbound direction. Northbound 167 remains blocked at Highway 18 there in Auburn, and the closure extends up to about 277th in Kent. The reason? There's still plenty of water over the roadway. Southbound opened in the 5 o'clock hour, so that's positive. And maybe they'll get to it here shortly now that we've got some more light on it, daylight. They can get a better inspection in today and see what we're looking at. But what we're seeing right now is a bunch of people on Highway 18 who wouldn't normally be there, especially going westbound up to I-5. It is bumper to bumper from the valley. And then also a bunch of people on northbound I-5 through Fife that wouldn't normally be there. They'd be on the Valley Freeway. It's 40 minutes from Tacoma up through Federal Way, and then about an hour and 10 from Federal Way to Seattle. Once you, if you join 167 north of Kent, it's going to be a good drive up to Renton, and then Renton to Bellevue is about 40 minutes. So not terrible. The lake bridges are still okay. Coming down from the north end, we are still struggling through Marysville, just a lot of volume there. Westbound 2 is backed up to 9 again today, getting out of Snohomish. That's because people don't want to go down into the valley, though southbound 9 is open. Only one of the 2 lanes, though, as you get south of Marsh Road. Over to I-5, you got about an hour drive away from Linwood, so kind of a typical day for you guys. Now, south of Olympia, we are still working with a 5-mile bumper-to-bumper backup because all northbound lanes of I-5 remain blocked before the 101 interchange. That's for a crash involving 3 semis, one of them jackknifed. Fortunately, the injuries are minor, but that's causing a significant slowdown there. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the ultimate tribute to rock. Hairball comes to the Emerald Queen Casino April 2nd. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Hairball, April 2nd, only at the Emerald Queen, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Rain dying down today to showers and sometimes just dry but cloudy. Highs will be in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, more rain and then heavy wind in the afternoon. There are some concerns it could be kind of destructive just based on how wet the ground is right now. So let's just be ready for that. The next couple days after that, we are looking for rain in the lowlands and snow in the mountains. Right now in Seattle, we have cloudy skies. It's 54. Well, how about this? Dick Van Dyke marked a major milestone over the weekend, his 100th birthday. Here's KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gashard.
His wife, Arlene Silver, said the celebration was just perfect. Last month, Van Dyke told NBC News he doesn't plan on slowing down in his career.
What haven't you done that you'd like to do? What role?
I wanted to be Scrooge. Always wanted to play Scrooge, and I could do it.
Van Dyke has been in the industry for 75 years.
Yeah, he's got that big white beard now. Okay, yeah. I can see it.
He could do it, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, it is 7:46 here on Seattle's Morning News. There is a big vote happening in the House this week that will impact health care for millions of Americans. We're going to get the latest from CBS's Torian Small next on Seattle's Morning News.
The Pacific Northwest is the perfect backdrop for the holiday season. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law reminds us that the roadways don't always agree.
It's that combination of additional travel, changes in routine, and winter weather that make this the most dangerous time of the year to be behind the wheel.
Any safety tips to help commuters keep the holidays joyful?
The number one cause of accidents remains distracted driving, even during the holidays. So store that cell phone in a place that eliminates temptation. It's imperative we set the example for our teens. Also, be aware of abrupt changes in the weather and prepare for it. Sometimes it's as simple as allowing additional distance for following or stopping. Lastly, make sure your vehicle is properly maintained for winter.
That includes four-wheel drive and chains when required at the pass. Please follow these safety precautions from my good friends at Pendergast Law and keep you and your neighbors safe this holiday season.
Happy holidays from all of us at Pendergast Law.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Fall is here, school is back in full swing, but can your bank keep up with your schedule? Well, WaFd Bank can, with free checking. Live your life and stick to your agenda without having to worry about minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees. WaFd has thousands of fee-free ATMs and more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states. Plus, WaFd Bank offers useful tools like voice-activated banking, so you can check your balance and make transfers between your WaFd accounts when your hands are full. And if you're like me, that's all the time. You'll also have access to free tools like online and mobile banking, bill pay, person-to-person payments with Zelle, plus mobile check deposit and full control over your debit cards to turn them on and off just in case they get misplaced. And when you open your account, choose from some great-looking debit cards to spend in style, including Seattle Kraken and Seattle Seawolves cards. So visit WaFdBank.com to open your account today and find out why they were awarded Best Bank by Newsweek 3 years in a row. With WaFd Bank, you are in control. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
that's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchie's what?
Worry-free warranty.
Which means?
When it wears out, we replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life?
For as long as you're an A-List member. You get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchie's
worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchie.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
A heads up here, we are just getting word from the Los Angeles Times and other sources saying that the son of Rob Reiner and Michelle Reiner, Nick Reiner, has been arrested in connection to the deaths. Nick Reiner is their son, and again, according to multiple sources, he has been arrested in that murder investigation. 7:49 now here on Seattle's Morning News. There's a big vote coming in Congress this week as Republicans have drafted up their version of a health care bill as subsidies for the Affordable Care Act are set to expire in just over 2 weeks. Let's get to the details from CBS congressional reporter Torian Small. Good morning, Torian. What do we know about this bill?
Hey, good morning. I think the most notable thing, and something likely all Democrats will be talking about, is the fact that this package does not include an extension of those ACA tax subsidies. I think without that, this is pretty much DOA, especially if it were to pass out of the House and head to the Senate. Democrats aren't looking to entertain anything without that. That was a major part of the government shutdown negotiations, and a lot of moderate Democrats supported Republicans in reopening the government over consideration over this extension. Now, this is something that House Speaker Mike Johnson said he's aware of, and he says Republicans in his conference are also talking about it. So he says there's likely to be an extension included or an amendment included in this package. But the meat and potatoes of this bill would pretty much provide an expansion of associated health plans. That pretty much allows multiple employees or employers to band together to purchase coverage for their respective employees. And then also there's one measure aimed at lowering drug costs by providing more transparency from pharmacies. But again, I think there isn't an appetite from Democrats to attach their names to anything, even if it is an extension of these ACA subsidies, if it comes with these reforms that Republicans are eyeing right now.
Torian, do we know how much these subsidies cover? Are we talking, $20, $30? Or are we talking $100? Are we talking $1,000?
I mean, it's pretty substantial. It would be thousands, if not, $15,000 to $15,000 or $100 in savings for the average Americans, based off what the previous subsidies provided. It was pretty much a cap at, I think, 8.5% of the household income for people enrolled in the Affordable Care Plan. But again, with that set to expire, that threshold moves. That means, again, Americans are looking at thousands more that they're potentially paying. And the marketplace is open now. So they're making these considerations when this is set to expire at the end of next week, pretty much.
So what happens from here? Do Democrats just say we lost and we're moving on, or is there something more substantial?
I think we're going to get a whole lot of what we've been seeing so far, which is Democrats and Republicans having separate press conferences to bash the other side, but not a lot of conversion happening or conversing happening among the parties behind closed doors for something substantive. We do know that there are some lawmakers looking to go at it without Republican leadership. Representative Brian Fitzpatrick, a Republican from Pennsylvania, is pushing forth a discharge petition that would pretty much circumvent the leadership process, get a floor directly to the floor, that would extend these subsidies for 2 years. He has some Democrat support. The problem is whether or not we have 218 signatures to do that. If that happens, then yes, we could see a solution head to the Senate that would be somewhat appetizing to most, or at least a good amount. But the question is whether or not that would happen in this timeline, considering this is the last work week Congress has before the New Year break.
Okay, Torian Small, CBS News congressional correspondent. Torian, thanks for your time this morning. 7:53 now, and let's head over to Sully for traffic on the threes.
And it continues to be a very difficult Monday across the board. I'm going to start in the Olympia area because we have all northbound lanes of I-5 blocked right at the 101 interchange. We've got about a 5-mile backup behind it. This involved multiple semis, one of them jackknife. So they're in the process of trying to clear that road. Once you get through that, it's not too bad till you get to about Fife, and then you're going to hit the brake lights there really heavy up past 18 and then on up into Federal Way. The reason 167 northbound remains closed for flooding, and so you cannot go between Auburn and Kent on 167 northbound. Southbound is open, so a lot more people are on I-5, and so we're looking at 40 minutes from the Tacoma area on up into Federal Way, and then Federal Way to Seattle's running about an hour and 15 minutes. Also seeing a lot more people on 18 and the Issaquah-Hobart Road and other different ways to get away from the braking on the Valley Freeway. There also might be a crash near the Kent Black Diamond Road as we get on eastbound 18, westbound 18, bumper to bumper up the hill to I-5. Out of the north end, we've got about an hour drive from Linwood to Seattle or Bellevue. A little further north of that, it's bumper to bumper through Marysville. Same deal, westbound 2, getting down to the Trestle, backed up all the way to Highway 9. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Showers the balance of the day and windy. Tomorrow, rainy and even windier with heavy winds expected in the afternoon. Highs both days in the mid to upper 50s. Wednesday and Thursday, rain in the lowlands and mountain snow. Right now in the Seattle area, it's 52 at 7:55. Coming up, CBS News with the latest on the murder investigation of Hollywood legend Rob Reiner. That's on the way.
What's your holiday tradition? For me, it's gathering with loved ones, sharing stories, laughter, and a meal that brings everyone together. It's a moment of joy, connection, and comfort. It's G. Scott here. For too many families in our community, this tradition is slipping away. Rising costs, tough times, and uncertainty means some neighbors won't have the same chance to enjoy a holiday meal. That's where we can make a difference. When you shop at Safeway, please consider donating to Nourishing Neighbors. This program provides grocery cards to families across Washington, distributed through food pantries, schools, and community centers, so people can shop with dignity and choose the foods that make their holidays special. It's not just about food. It's about restoring hope, pride, and the ability to celebrate. Your donation helps ensure every neighbor has a place at the table this season. So next time you're at Safeway, take a moment to give. Visit nourishingneighbors.com to learn more. That's nourishingneighbors.com. Together, we can nourish everyone and make sure no one is left out this holiday season.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
10 athletes will face the toughest job interview in fitness that will push past physical and mental breaking points. You are the fittest of the fit. Only one of you will leave here with an iFit contract for $250,000.
This is when mindset comes in.
Someone will be eliminated.
Pressure is coming down.
This is Trainer Games.
Watch it on Prime Video starting January 8th.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Red Hawks rising. Seattle U's men's basketball is hosting some big games at Climate Pledge. Grab your tickets at goseattleu.com/tickets. Our next home game is December 19th against UW.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising! After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. It's a cold winter night and your furnace dies. Don't let this happen to you. If your system's 12 years or older, upgrade now to a Mitsubishi electric heating and air conditioning system from Home Comfort Alliance and stay warm. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Take your business to the next level in 2025 with help from WaFd Bank. WaFd Bank's business accounts and cash flow tools get you paid in hours, not weeks, so you can grow your business and meet your goals. You need a best bank. Visit wafdbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. A 32-year-old son of Hollywood director and actor Rob Reiner and his wife's been arrested in connection with their deaths at their L.A. home. CBS's Anna Schechter.
We've just confirmed that their son, Nick Reiner, was arrested last night. He was booked today He's being held on $4 million bond, and there are no charges listed in the Los Angeles County records that we've reviewed. So we are awaiting those charges, information on those charges, and the next steps. Will he be arraigned today or tomorrow?
Celebrities are praising Rob Reiner on social media as talented and kind. Reiner championed liberal causes and was a sharp critic of President Trump. CBS's Vicki Barker.
Posting on Truth Social, President Trump calls the deaths of Rob Reiner and his wife, quote, very sad, but suggests the deaths were, quote, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome. Adding, may Rob and Michelle rest in peace.
There's late word prosecutors have charged 4 members of an alleged extremist group accused of plotting New Year's Eve bombings in California. Manhunt goes on in the wake of the mass shooting on the Brown University campus that left 2 people dead and 9 people wounded. CBS's Jared Hill reports a person of interest was released by police.
They're saying that they don't know if this person is in this neighborhood, in this city, in this state. They said there's no way of knowing right now where whoever committed this heinous act actually is. They're stressing that they have not gotten any sort of credible threats so far to this community. And so they are trying to sort of manage some of the emotions here.
Australian leaders have promised to overhaul already tough gun control laws after the mass shooting targeting a Hanukkah celebration on Sydney's Bondi Beach. 15 people died in the attack. Police shot the 2 suspected gunmen, a father and son. The father was killed. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese.
There's no evidence that these people were part of a cell. Clearly, they were motivated by this extremist ideology.
In Paris, workers at the Louvre voted to go on strike over working conditions and other complaints. The strike shutting down the world's most visited museum. Tourists being turned away.
We went up and asked, when will it open? He said, probably not this morning. For sure not this morning.
And checking Wall Street, right now the Dow is down 81 points. The S&P is down 8.5. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Take the next step forward in your career with great benefits and an award-winning workplace. Apply at careers.progressive.com.
8:03. Let's head over to Chris Sullivan for traffic on the 3s.
And it has not been a very good day, and it continues to struggle. I'm going to go with the northbound 167 closure because it remains closed. Northbound from Highway 18 up past 272nd to 277th, that is in Kent, because of water over the roadway. The southbound direction reopened earlier this morning. But so that means everybody has to find some way else to go, and Highway 18 is taking a ton of the diversion, especially westbound. People trying to get up to the hill to I-5 and then going from there. Plus, a bunch of people who might have used the valley through Sumner and Puyallup are now on I-5 and Fife. So it's 40 minutes from Tacoma to Federal Way. That's a 20-minute delay. That's double the normal travel time. Once you're up past 320th, it's not too bad the rest of the way until you get up to about the north end of Boeing Field, and then you have the normal drive there. It's about an hour and 10-minute trip total. So once you get through that very beginning spot there at Highway 18, it's not going to be too bad. And then Renton to Bellevue is running right around 35 minutes. The other issue we're dealing with is the closure of northbound I-5, basically in the Tumwater Olympia area, right there before the 101 off-ramp. Multiple semis involved in this, but minor injuries, so that's positive. They just have a ton of debris to move out of the way. 5-mile backup there. Out of the north end, 40 minutes, Arlington to Everett. Westbound 2 is struggling from Highway 9, and then you've got about an hour and 10-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. This report brought to you by Closets by Design, custom storage solutions for closets, garages, and more. Go to closetsbydesign.com, or you can always call them 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
8:04. Welcome to the Monday, December 15th edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger. Manda Factor has the day off. Well, heavy rains overnight provided no relief to flood victims, not only in Skagit County, but in Auburn on the Green River as well. We have team coverage this morning. KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is in the Skagit Valley with the continuing impact there. And our James Lynch is live in Auburn, where the water has shut down stretches of Highway 167. So let's begin in the South Sound and say good morning to James Lynch.
Yes, Charlie, it is a mess out there. With daylight upon us, we are seeing more people here at the American Red Cross shelter at the Auburn Community and Event Center, waking to face another day and potentially more flooding at the homes they fled. About 83 people, families, pregnant women, and children are actively seeking shelter here. Akiko Kabua and her young daughter spent the night here. When the order came to evacuate, she says that's exactly what she did.
They said the water is coming from Kent and everybody needs to evacuate to get away in case the flood comes in, because they said we might get trapped in.
Now, emergency managers say that's exactly what they want everyone to do. Grab only the essentials, clothing, medicine, important documents, and valuables, and find somewhere safe, whether it's at a shelter or a friend or family member's home on higher ground. Live in Auburn, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Now let's head north to Burlington, where we find KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey, who joins us live. Luke, what do you see?
Yeah, Charlie, I'm in a neighborhood that was impacted by last week's flooding. Remember on Friday it was the Gages Slough early in the morning. It's a slough that is connected to the Skagit River. It winds through the city of Burlington. It flooded dozens of homes here. You can hear that pump in the background. That's what that is on South Anacorta Street here, right over the slough. The waters have receded, but what the pump is doing and what crews are doing from the city are pumping the slough from one side to a more wider area in anticipation of more rain coming. And if you're watching on our YouTube feed, I just got some fresh video now that the sun's come up. You can see the level of the slough and that pump in action and what they're doing. I also talked with Rico this morning. He lives right next to the slough. On Friday, during an evacuation order that was given, his family left.
We did evacuate. We left because we saw so much water coming. We actually did evacuate on Friday, but then we came back on Saturday when we noticed that, there was not a big, a major flood.
Yeah, thankfully no one was injured. The Skagit River, though, according to NOAA, is expected to rise to a major flood stage tomorrow again and again on Friday if the slough floods again.
The only thing is that we can expect the worst. If it floods again, we're ready to evacuate. I mean, normally we'll go to a friend's house who lives up in the mountain.
Yeah, expect the worst, though. I mean, you hate to hear anyone say that, but that's what they're doing here. So the last measure of the Skagit River this morning at 5:15, it measured about 27 feet, which is a minor flood stage. Remember, the record it hit last week, 37 feet. It's supposed to hit around 33 feet tomorrow and Friday. Live in Burlington, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
And Reed Wolcott of the National Weather Service warns that because of all the previous rain, it won't take much to create more flooding problems.
We are completely saturated. There are still trees submerged. Soils are extremely loose. It does not take 50-mile-an-hour winds to knock over trees, cause power outages, fall onto vehicles, houses, etc.
Forecasters say the Cascades and Olympics could see 3 to 6 inches of rainfall, while the I-5 corridor should expect another 1 to 2 inches as far south as Central Oregon. Governor Ferguson says federal help is on the way.
Governor Ferguson spoke directly with Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, and FEMA has granted his request for an emergency declaration.
No guarantees of financial resources. I did discuss that, though, with Secretary Noem. She did mention the fact that there's a potential for resources to help us out in the short term with the situation that we're facing.
Right now, the focus is on rescue and cleanup operations. Then Ferguson will work with local and county leaders to assess the financial damage. At that point, they can go to the feds to ask for a disaster declaration, which could lead to money for those areas affected. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Hold on.
I can feel it.
Nick, thank you. Is that like an instrumental version of In the Air Tonight?
Oh, yeah. Well, Phil Collins there.
Okay, I was trying to, pick it out because that's an unmistakable drum beat.
Oh, yeah.
appreciate it. That is Nick Cretia, who is running the board for us this morning and picking the music. David Burbank is our producer, who's here in studio with us, and Sully is here as well. Just real quick, we have the snow in the forecast coming up for the mountains later in the week. Have planners talked anything about how that might affect construction on the Bullfrog Overpass?
Well, they said that is weather dependent.
Okay.
The good news is what they're doing now may not be as weather dependent as what they need to do later, because what they're doing now is they're putting in the girders, which they can lay in from above. It's the concreting that comes up next that might be a little bit more weather dependent, but it could certainly.
Okay, and that's the overpass above I-90 in Cle Elum that they're trying to get finished up and fixed, much like they're trying to fix northbound 167 in Pacific and Auburn. That is not a good scene on the freeway right now.
You got a squeegee? Maybe the ones they use to clean the area around the crease at a hockey game.
Driving by about 3 this morning, they are not kidding with keeping the on-ramps of 167 North blocked off. They've got the big old WashDOT sanders out there just completely blocking it. So.
Yeah, now that we've got first light on it, there doesn't appear to be as much water, which is positive. But again, I'm not out there, and they've got tests to run and things to inspect before they open it, and they want to make sure we're safe. Southbound did open this morning, though, so that's certainly positive. But, we got a way to go.
Continue to keep an eye on it. Well, in Mount Vernon over the weekend, Senator Patty Murray praised flood prevention efforts and the ongoing rescues. She says flooding could have been much worse, but a flood wall in Skagit County she worked to get money for back in 2006 was a big help.
It was knee-deep water 20 years ago in a horrific flood we had, and to now come back and know that the businesses that I saw, business owners with tears in their eyes because they lost so much of their merchandise and had to recover, are now safe.
That's Patty Murray here on Seattle's Morning News. Western Washington State's historic flooding is also bringing out kindness. Here's Heather Bosch.
A donkey brays as Julie Jones giggles.
There, Barnes.
She's relieved.
I've been on pins and needles for the last few days.
Jones breeds miniature Mediterranean donkeys in Mount Vernon. When record flooding was forecast along the Skagit River, her 68 donkeys were in danger.
I didn't have children, and so they're like my kids.
She told KIRO Radio's Jake and Spike she posted on social media asking for help, and the response was overwhelming.
I have 3 fields to go to that are just right up the road. I've had people from as far away as Ohio offering help.
Heather Bosch, KIRO Newsradio.
At 8:12, let's get a check on the weather. It's brought to us by State Roofing and Exteriors. Here's KIRO 7's Nick Allard.
Steady rain will turn to showers, but we'll still find some pockets of heavy stuff at times, maybe some thunderstorms, and we have a wind advisory for just about everybody in western Washington. So windy at times and very wet at times, and temperatures that'll be mild in the upper 50s, and just lots of rain already with more to come. And it looks like we'll see some area rivers coming back up again tomorrow and again for Thursday, anywhere from minor to major. And the Skagit might be the one in the major category, and a lot of them in the moderate. Not quite as bad as what we just had, but still moderate to major flooding. And then tomorrow we're going to see more rain increasing again. And tomorrow night could be even windier with a high wind watch in effect for overnight tomorrow into early Wednesday. There could be some really stronger gusts. We have to keep an eye on that as well. And then into Wednesday, snow levels come down. You're going to see heavy mountain snow in the Cascade Passes overnight into Wednesday through Thursday with more rain in the lowlands. So it's just going to be one heck of a week with everything possible. You could see with the heavy rain, of course, the river flooding, standing water. You could see some landslides. You could see some downed trees with all this wind. Please prepare for the weather to impact you some way as we head through the next couple of days.
Showers, 52 right now. Time to check in with Sully for traffic.
And we continue to work with the closure of northbound 167 between Auburn and Kent. And what that has done regionally is caused a lot of other slowing in and around other roads. Anything northbound around that area, bumper to bumper, a lot of neighborhood streets. A lot of people have stuck with 18. And so westbound 18 is bumper to bumper before you even get into Auburn, through Auburn, over 167, or under, I should say, and then up to I-5. And then it's not terrible northbound I-5 out of that area heading north now. But we still have a lot of brake lights through through Fife. Those are people who would normally be on 167 as well. We have about a 40-minute trip from Tacoma to Federal Way. That's plus 20. And then Federal Way to Seattle, as I said, is not terrible up through South Center. And the north end part of that drive is manageable. It's about 35 minutes from South Center, and that gets us about an hour all the way out of Federal Way. Rented to Bellevue is back under 40 minutes, probably closer to 35, so that's pretty decent. Now, to the south end, where we continue to struggle on northbound I-5, all northbound lanes blocked for a crash involving several semis right at 101. You're being detoured off the freeway. There's also a southbound crash near Carpenter Road, blocking a center lane. Coming down from the north end, about an hour drive from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, so not terrible, but struggling in Marysville and struggling westbound too, back up to Highway 9 all the way down to the Trestle. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial 97.3 HD2.
Two women were shocked to see what popped out of their broken dryer vent. Here's KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gashard.
In Phoenix, a woman dragged that vent into her front yard. Apparently, she had reason to believe there was a live rabbit stuck in the vent. The woman tried to get the literal dust bunny out as it hopped up and down the tube. Listen to this.
Right there.
Right where? All right, that bunny finally made it out of the vent. It was quite a shock, and it just hopped back into the wild.
So, I mean, an excited scream. What if that was a rat? I don't think that would be as excited of a scream.
I don't think so, but I don't want to imagine it either.
Thank you, Katrina. It's 8:16.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
On Mondays, we check in with Casey McNerthney from the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office for our Crime and Punishment segment. All right, it's the holidays, Casey. I know a lot of times it can be kind of rough, the stuff you come in here with us, but you tell me you have some positive news.
Yeah, so last week I was talking to our LEAD team, and LEAD stands for Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion. And they were talking about a guy in his 60s who had a really positive case and really shows how you want the program to work. LEAD is something that has been around for several years, and it helps with folks who are involved in nonviolent felonies. You know, this guy had been in the cycle of misdemeanors. He had a felony case from the 80s for a robbery case, not an armed robbery case, but, you know, still a serious case, but, you know, hadn't had a felony in, 30 plus years, but was in this kind of just cycle of misdemeanors where he needed help, and jail alone wasn't working. Samantha Murray is a deputy prosecutor in our office and a LEAD liaison. Here she is explaining his situation.
So he's now in his mid-60s. So this has been somebody who has been dealing with houselessness, undiagnosed mental health issues, and undiagnosed or untreated substance abuse issues for the majority of his life, but hadn't committed or been convicted of any felony crimes for the last 20 plus years.
And Seattle police had this case. He was arrested for a stolen vehicle possession. And SPD looked at this and said, this might be somebody who would be good for LEAD. And referrals can come from them. And a lot of different folks are involved here. Seattle police, the mayor's office for years, the city attorney's office in Seattle. And here's another clip from Samantha explaining the point of LEAD.
Our goal in this collaborative community safety program is that we're working with individuals who are currently engaging or who are at high risk of engaging in lower level criminal activity. And they're normally engaging in this lower level criminal activity due to poverty, houselessness, or untreated mental health or substance use disorders.
So this sounds like it's violent crime, you're out. But if you're just doing a bunch of petty stuff, they think you might be able to rehabilitate them.
Yeah, and it really helps having a lot of people at the table, and having a lot of adults in the room to say, all right, what would work well here? And the point is decreasing recidivism, not seeing them over and over in this cycle that we're all frustrated by. I asked Samantha, I said, what did this guy accomplish? What was the progress that you saw? And here's how she answered that.
He addressed multiple outstanding warrants across multiple jurisdictions. He engaged with his defense attorneys where some contact had fallen apart. He made sure he appeared at all of his hearings for the open felony matter with our office. He expressed a desire for mental health treatment that he hadn't previously. He successfully got on methadone treatment. He got a job. And it was recently reported to us that he actually is asking for more hours, which is amazing.
So here we have a situation in the city of Seattle where fentanyl is at the root of so many issues. Don't know this guy's exact addiction of choice, but she did mention methadone going on that. That's opiates. So here we have a situation where you are helping him get the mental health treatment he needs, the drug treatment he needs, and then also helping guide him into getting his life together instead of just letting him sit in a tent or go boost or do any of these other things that affect the quality of life for so many people. It's a real holistic approach, but it does take some strong outreach from a bunch of different leaders in order to make this happen.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's a month or years long process. You know, you can have folks who are in it. You know, it's not just one day or 1 week. You know, it's usually months, sometimes years. You know, that support. You know, one thing that Sam said is, you know, if you think about when we do taxes or we get a permit from the city to get a house remodel, you know, it's a long process, and usually we have an accountant or a contractor who's helping us with that. If you don't have that and you need mental health services or you need housing, or, you know, you need somebody to help you through it. And that's what LEAD does. I'm sure people are hearing this going, okay, great, rah, rah, rah. But what about the victims? What about accountability? Here's what Sam had to say about that.
After a lot of collaboration, our office actually offered him a misdemeanor resolution. And that is a credit for time served resolution with a suspended sentence. But this is where the accountability part comes in. He is being offered this opportunity to continue all of his progress, right? But all this means is that he is not required to spend any more time in jail on this matter at this time, as long as he doesn't contact the victim, he pays restitution or pays money to the victim for any damage to the property that was done by him. He cannot have any new law violations, and he also is required to receive a mental health evaluation and then comply with all that recommended treatment. So even though we are helping connect these dots and give him opportunities that he hadn't otherwise had, he still has a conviction on his record, and he still has to comply with orders from the court that give justice to the victim, right? But then also doesn't perpetuate this criminal behavior.
So that is interesting because he is admitting his guilt and he is paying the victim back, and he also has a criminal conviction on his record. He's not going to be spending more time in jail unless he offends again.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, what you see here is what you want to have happen, breaking that cycle of recidivism, you know, and really that's the point of LEAD, is to have a whole bunch of, you know, thoughtful people saying, how do we, you know, SPD, the mayor's office, the King County Prosecutor's Office, the City Attorney's Office, saying, how do we keep this person from reoffending? And when you have a program that works, this case is what it looks like.
Okay. Well, I would be super interested in the months and years to come to see how effective this is in terms of keeping people from reoffending. And I think that's a question for another day.
Sounds good. We'll do it.
Casey McNerney, King County Prosecutor's Office, here on Seattle's Morning News. Okay, time for traffic on the threes. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan.
Sorry if I was you picked up the profanity on the air just a second ago as you just turned on your microphone. We really needed this.
Uh-oh.
No, we didn't. Eastbound I-90 at milepost 36 between North Bend and the Summit closed. Or sorry, two right lanes are closed because of a slide. So we have a new slide in that area heading up to Snoqualmie Pass. Not fully blocked, but again, a kind of a harbinger of what we can expect with how much water is in the ground right now. And then we add the wind coming up. We are not out of the woods by any stretch. Now, let's go to the closures caused by the flooding, which the big one remains northbound 167 as you go from Auburn on up to Kent. And I just ran the cameras now that it's full light out there, and 167 northbound looks pretty good in terms of the water coverage until you get right up to 277th. And there it's pretty clear why they're still closed. As you talked about that intersection just to the east of the highway there, where the Chevron is, that's underwater. That's the low spot right now that they're still dealing with. Now that everyone's still looking for ways around that, westbound 18 bumper to bumper up to I-5. Northbound I-5 still 40 minutes from Tacoma to Federal Way. That's a 20-minute delay there. Those are all people who should be on the Valley Freeway, but they're not. Once you get through that, Federal Way to Seattle's running about an hour and 10 minutes. Not terrible. Under 40 from Renton to Bellevue, most of that right there through the top of the S-curves. Coming down from the north end, still struggling in Marysville, 40 minutes from Arlington to Everett. Westbound 2 is bumper to bumper from Highway 9 to the Trestle. Southbound 9 is open through the Snohomish Valley there, but only the right lane is open. The left lane remains blocked, so I think that's why a lot of people are bailing there. Out of the north end, we've got hour drives from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, and we're still working with the closure of northbound I-5 as you work your way into Olympia. Right at 101, all closed because of a crash involving several semis. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Rain turning to showers later today. Windy this afternoon, but that's just a preview of tomorrow where we'll have rain and then heavy wind by the afternoon. And that could be a little damaging, according to Nick Allard. We're expecting a high today of 58, 54 for a high tomorrow. It is 54 right now in Seattle. 8:25 now, and coming up on Seattle's Morning News, we head to two different flood zones live, Auburn and Burlington. We'll see how residents there are dealing with it. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Fall rains can expose hidden roof problems, and once water gets in, the damage only gets worse. Is your roof ready for the season? Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. At State Roofing and Exteriors, we repair and replace roofs with a quality you've trusted for decades. And yes, we also provide siding, windows, decks, and gutters to keep your entire home protected. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule a free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Brent Wilcox and his daughter Hartley talk about holiday gatherings on the Wilcox family farm.
Hartley, we're getting together with all the family on the farm to celebrate the holidays.
Yay! It's always a good time.
Papa and Grandma are doing the turkey and all the fixins.
Sounds good.
Aunt Sarah and Uncle Andy will likely do the sweet potatoes and pies.
Nice. Can you bring me home some of those omega-3 eggs?
Why? What are you making?
Doodles.
Doodles?
Yeah, snickerdoodles, Dad. Come on, they're my favorite.
I should have known. I'll bring the eggs home tonight.
Thanks, Dad. You're the best.
Anytime, Hartley.
Look for Wilcox Organic, omega-3, and hard-boiled eggs at fine grocery stores near you, including Metropolitan Markets, Whole Foods, PCC Natural Markets, Fred Meyer, and Safeway. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Remember to pick up Wilcox hard-boiled eggs for a healthy snack on the go or a tasty addition to any meal. Available at Costco and your neighborhood grocery store.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Cold is leaking and rocks are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Red Hawks rising. Seattle U's men's basketball is hosting some big games at Climate Pledge. Grab your tickets at GoSeattleU.com/tickets. Our next home game is December 19th against UW.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue,
Seattle's morning news.
Round 2 of the atmospheric river causing all sorts of headaches this morning. We have team coverage for you with KIRO News Radio's James Lynch in Auburn, where a flooded Green River has spilled over onto the streets. And our Luke Ducey is in Skagit County, a community heading into its second week of flood devastation. Let's begin in the South Sound with James Lynch. James, you are joining us live from Auburn.
That's right, Charlie, and it's raining on and off here in Auburn, and unfortunately more on than off for most people sheltering here at the Auburn Community and Event Center, where the American Red Cross has set up a shelter. It is a normal day other than not waking up in their own home. Many are now leaving from work. Blake Benzenberg came here to pick up a friend.
It's for work, for business that I'm picking somebody up. They were evacuated from their house, and so just taking them to the office up in Bellevue.
Now, about 88 people so far are taking advantage of this shelter. The American Red Cross says that includes families with children and at least 2 pregnant women. They are currently working on transportation to get the kids to school. Live in Auburn, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Now we head north to Skagit County, where Luke Ducey joins us live. Luke, where are you and what do you see?
Well, I'm in the neighborhood, in the city of Burlington along South Anacortes Street, where you're going to hear some machinery in the background. I'll tell you what that is in just a second. But you remember it was Friday of last week that the Gages Slough, which is connected to the Skagit River, and it winds through Burlington. Well, the Gages Slough started flooding. There was an emergency evacuation order. National Guard troops going door to door telling people you got to go now. It flooded dozens of homes in this area. What's going on behind me, and you can probably hear that giant pump on South Anacortes here. They're pumping water from one section, a narrow section of the slough, to another wider part because they want to get this water moving now as the rains are heading this way starting tomorrow. Heavy, heavy rains tomorrow and Friday. You know, I talked with one of the neighbors here who lives along the banks. His name is Rico. Well, he and his family, they evacuated on Friday, and then I asked him, well, what if it happens again?
The only thing is that we can expect the worst. You know, if it floods again, we're ready to evacuate. I mean, normally we'll go to a friend's house who lives up in the mountain.
They're ready to evacuate again, and they're going to head up to the mountains to a friend's house. The Skagit River, according to NOAA, is expected to rise to a major flood stage tomorrow and then again on Friday. Thankfully, nobody here was hurt last week, but you know, here it comes again. At last measure at 5:15 this morning, the Skagit level was at 27 feet, which is minor as far as the flood stage gauge is concerned. It hit a record last week of 37 feet. Let's hope it doesn't get anywhere near there tomorrow. Live in Burlington, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
It's 8:33. We check traffic on the 3s with Chris Sullivan.
Yeah, and the flooding damage and flooding issues continue to block with and work with our freeways. I'm going to start with northbound 167 remains closed from Auburn up through Kent as they continue to deal with water over the roadway, primarily at the north end part of that closure, right there in Kent near 277. What this has done is created a large backup on westbound 18 trying to get up to I-5, and a lot of people on I-5 who normally wouldn't be there, especially through Fife and up the hill to 18 on up through Federal Way. 35 minutes now from Tacoma to Federal Way. That's behind schedule by about 16 minutes. And then you get through that, and it's not too bad until you get up to about the north end of Boeing Field. About an hour and 10-minute trip total. Rented to Bellevue is not too bad either. We're under 35 minutes, so that's great. Now, further south, we continue to struggle on northbound I-5 with a 5-mile backup on northbound I-5 getting into and through Tumwater to 101. That's where the entire freeway is closed. Still trying to clean up all the debris from 3 semis that got tangled up earlier this morning, and that's a work that's underway, and they are going to continue to divert people off the road. We're also dealing with a crash in the southbound direction just after Carpenter Road in the Olympia area as well. Once you get through that, not too bad. Coming down from the north end, we're trying to get better in Marysville, still struggling. Westbound 2 is a struggle as well, but getting better. And then you've got about an hour drive from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. The lake bridges are actually okay. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
We are expecting winds this afternoon, kind of breezy. Tomorrow we have rain and very windy by the afternoon. Could be potentially damaging. Weather Service already issuing a high wind watch for Tuesday. Right now in Seattle, we have light rain and 54.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
Monday morning, and Jill Schlesinger from CBS News joins us to break down what might be the strangest jobs report in recent memory. You point out that it was about 182,000 a month jobs being created pre-pandemic, 76,000 this year. You use the word crawl. When does that crawl become concerning?
Well, I think if we see widespread job losses, then we're concerned. Someone said, is this a jobs crisis? It can't be considered a jobs crisis if we're still net adding jobs every month. Maybe we don't need to add as many jobs as we once did because of AI and productivity, and maybe there are fewer people seeking jobs because of changes in immigration policies. But I think we start to get nervous if all of a sudden we see like a slew of companies in lots of different industries saying, yeah, we laid a bunch of people off. And that has not yet happened.
All right. We also talk about how young college grads are actually facing a higher unemployment rate than the broader population. What's going on here?
It's a conundrum. I might just start by saying that, because we're talking about people who are 22 to 27 years old. And that this is probably you've heard this from friends of yours or young people who are reporting back to you. Like, the anecdotal evidence is clearly there, but it's also that we know from data that that young college graduates are carrying higher unemployment rates than they have in the past. So what's happened here is that we see that that it's just kind of hard to get a job for these folks, and we don't know the why. I know that you want to just say it's AI, but it can't be just AI, because this is a trend that has been going on for decades. And so I dug into some research at the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland, and they basically said that it's an interesting thing that it used to be relative to the broader population that people who had college degrees, you were really paid better, you had more job security, there was lower unemployment rate. And so what we now know is that the idea that you can find a job quickly with a college degree, that advantage is starting to shrink. And so what we really do understand is that some of the long-standing job market advantages that you had by having a college degree, some of those are eroding. And it doesn't mean that it's gone. It just means that the employment advantages you used to have as a college grad, they're shrinking a little bit. There's still advantages, just not as good as they used to be. And we don't really understand exactly the why yet, because this is a trend that is sort of moving in slow motion, but does seem to be gathering some steam now.
Okay, I'm the parent of 2 teenagers, Jill. Is college still worth it?
I think college is still worth it. And I think that what is important is that you don't go into debt to get that college degree, or some small amount of debt, not crazy. I also think that when you look at what these kids should be doing coming out of college, a lot of young people will say, I'm doing this, that, and the other thing, certain kinds of jobs that they think are resume builders. Go get a job that pays you some money, get experience. And if you don't have a job, you really have to be proactive. You focus on what you can control. You do raise your hand for any opportunity that it presents itself. You fire up your network. And, you should really be reaching out to almost anybody who can help you out, because a human being on the ground is what's going to give you the greatest advantage. It's funny. It's like, how do you combat AI? You turn to human beings.
Jill Schlesinger, CBS News, a real-life human being, I'm assuming.
Yeah, for now.
For now. Thanks for joining us. We'll check in with you next Monday.
Take care.
Okay, Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we got 2 spots to look at, northbound 5 into Olympia and northbound 167 through the Valley. We'll break it down for you next.
The Northwest's trusted news source.
We're learning that it was 2 brothers who were fatally shot in Lacey.
KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch has more.
More than 140,000 fentanyl pills and powder were seized.
Experienced voices you trust.
A fierce budget fight is coming down to the wire.
Coverage you can depend on.
King County's $20 billion budget.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I was able to achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look in the mirror. You need to know what that feels like. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I would trust more than Advanced Hair Restoration. I experienced their exceptional standard of care firsthand. Your comfort and your results are the top priority of the entire Advanced Hair team. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. Discover what meeting your resolutions could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey, it's Brock Heward. My family did it, and it saved us thousands. You got to do it. Take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. It's free. See how much First Mark can save you and how much better coverage you can get. They work for you. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Take your business to the next level in 2025 with help from WaFd Bank. WaFd Bank's business accounts and cash flow tools get you paid in hours, not weeks, so you can grow your business and meet your goals. You need a best bank. Visit wafdbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
8:43, traffic on the threes now with Chris Sullivan.
Well, it looks like most of our commuters are kind of pushing through already. The problem is that we still have so many flooded roads that the freeways that wouldn't normally have this much volume today are feeling it. For instance, you take northbound 167 out of the mix today, and this is what you get. That's how much the volume that it takes. It's still closed from Auburn on up through Kent because of flooding, and what that has done is put a bunch more people on I-5, put a bunch more people on westbound 18, and a bunch more people in a variety of different spots trying to get around those closures. So we have 35 minutes from Tacoma to Federal Way. That is still about a 20-minute delay, and then the rest of the way on up isn't terrible. It's about an hour and 10. Because so few people are on the Valley Freeway, that 405 northbound isn't too bad. Under 35 minutes, which is a pretty good travel time. Now to the area around Olympia. We've got 2 crashes to tell you about. The biggie is the closure of all northbound lanes right at 101. There, right as you get through Tumwater, you're being detoured off the freeway. This involved 3 semis and a car. Minor injuries, but a ton of debris across the road. They're in the process of trying to take care of that. Southbound I-5 struggling past Carpenter Road trying to get into Tacoma because of a crash we've been dealing with in the center lane. Coming down from the north end, we're thinning out in Marysville, not quite thinning out westbound on 2. The reason there are a lot more people on that trying to get down to the trestle is they don't want to get stuck on southbound 9 through the valley, which only has 1 lane open there past the airport, working your way to Lower Larimer. Then you get over to I-5, got a new crash blocking left lane on I-5 right near the Nile Golf Course, the Edmonds exit. About an hour drive from Everett to Seattle, about an hour and 10 from Everett to Bellevue. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial, 97.3 HD2.
Looking for showers the balance of the day. Kind of windy this afternoon, but the real wind is tomorrow, where a high wind watch has been issued by the Weather Service for much of western Washington. That, coupled with rain tomorrow, could mean some interesting times ahead. In Seattle right now, it's 54 and showers at 8:45. Stranger Things giving fans a sneak peek at the continuation of its final season. Here's KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gishard.
This morning, Netflix released its trailer for Volume 2 of its 5th and final season.
We failed. We never stood a chance.
This is not over. Not by a long shot.
This whole time, everything we have ever assumed about the Upside Down has been dead wrong.
At the final season's world premiere in LA last month, executive producer Sean Levy gave a hint at what's to come, calling the finale as good as any TV series finale I've ever seen in my life. Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 2 arrives on Christmas Day.
That's kind of setting the bar high there, Sean Levy.
About his own show.
We'll see what happens.
Okay, Katrina, thank you. Well, big win for the Seahawks yesterday. It wasn't pretty. We will talk about it with G. Scott coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
An organized home is a happy home and a happy homeowner. John Curley here. Closets by Design made me and my home happy. Experience the quality and backing of a national brand with friendly local Seattle service. From booking the appointment to a free in-home consult to installation day, Closets by Design will leave you wowed and clutter-free. Right now, get up to 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months financing and free installation. Visit closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to schedule today.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. This holiday, treat yourself to the best present of all, a hot tub from Olympic. Through Christmas Eve, our Santa Loves a Smart Top event will save you up to $4,800 on your new tub and include an amazing smart top for free. This awesome hardcover handles Northwest weather, locks in heat, and looks fantastic. Santa loves a smart top, and so will you. It's the perfect gift to put under the tree. Details at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, here he is from the G and Ursula show. We missed you last week, by the way,
Hey,
G.
I missed y'all, too.
You were desperately missed. I wanted to talk with you about Phillip Rivers, in as QB for the Colts, and now it's said and done. It wasn't pretty, but Seahawks pulled out the win yesterday.
Yeah, so when it was announced that Phillip Rivers was going to be starting, Phillip Rivers, 44 years old, Phillip Rivers, a grandfather, Phillip Rivers, 5 seasons removed from the NFL, count them, 1, 2, 3. I only had a conversation with only 3 people that thought, hey, this Phillip Rivers that's coming, this is going to be serious. 2 of the 3 were teammates of Phillip Rivers. One of them was when they were in college. The other one when they were with the Chargers. That talked about how smart of a quarterback that he is. Most people thought it was a joke. I didn't. I knew that there was a real possibility that Phillip Rivers and that team could win. Let me explain. Yesterday, after my rehearsals, it was around 9:15 in the morning yesterday. I'm out there still on the field. I was getting ready to leave out, and Phillip Rivers is out there looking like a coach. Don't get me wrong. Looking like that uncle that shows up to the Thanksgiving football game, right? Shows up ready to stretch. He wasn't stretching, but Charlie, DB, he had his play sheet in his hand. And he was out there on the field. I took video of it.
Yeah.
And he's walking from spot to spot. He'd go over to this hash. He'd look up. He'd look around. He'd look up, look around, look back at his sheet. Go to another spot. Another 5 yards. Another 5 yards. He was mentally preparing for the game at that time. So I took video of it because I wanted to see this moment.
How does that compare to other QBs you've seen on the field before the game?
Well, everyone has their different things that they do. In all the years, I've never seen that. That just lets me know that Phillip Rivers was coming out there and he's getting ready to play in a game that he has to play with. So I'm sure his preparation was a lot more detailed than others. The reason why I thought the Seahawks would have a hard time is because there was no film on the Indianapolis Colts with Phillip Rivers. The reason why I thought you'd have a hard time because this was going to be a very unorthodox game with a Colts run game in Jonathan Taylor that's really good. And I said this, the only saving grace, I said this before the game, that the Seahawks would have is that they had gone 22 consecutive games without allowing a 100-yard rusher. It's now 23 because Jonathan Taylor did not get over 100 yards.
Which is crazy because they tried to run him so many times. And it is funny, you watch some of the national coverage and all the coverage is Phillip Rivers gets his first touchdown. Well, yeah, and he got, 170 yards or something like that?
You could see what happened. So here's what I think really happened. Okay. In the first half, Phillip Rivers had the Seahawks defense, which, by the way, is the number 1 defense in the NFL, had them just very unbalanced. They didn't know what they didn't know. They'd never seen this before. And then you could see it in the second half where the Seahawks started to figure it out, number 1. And number 2, fourth quarter, my man Phillip, he was tired.
Yeah.
Like he could, when he would go to throw it, have you ever been to a track meet and seen shot put? That was him, like pushing.
You could see him on the sideline. He had a trainer trying to work his rotator cuff every single time.
He had no legs.
Real quick, we just have 30 seconds left. How are you feeling about Thursday night football? It's just around the corner.
I feel real good because there's a real good possibility that Devontae Adams, one of their top wide receivers, Hammy, might not be playing. And then now they're saying, supposedly, some reports are saying there's a possibility that Puka Nacua might not be playing. I feel really good. It's a home game. It's Thursday night, and you know what that time it is.
You know what? One amazing thing about yesterday's game, I did not see really a single Seahawk limp off the field. That is huge.
They're healthy. So, hey, this is going to be good. It's Thursday night. It's a healthy Seahawks team. Hey, shout out to Jason Myers. Special teams needs love. Remember, everybody going to talk about everybody else, but my man, you got a invite to the cookout forever. Anytime, my boy.
Manda isn't here, but you are excused, G.
You don't kick me outright. It feels personal.
Sully is at the traffic desk.
Still struggling on northbound 167. It remains closed. Just got another closer up look. They're not going to open this thing for a while. There is still a ton of water over the northbound lanes at 277. Everyone is bailing from that, so that's why we're still running at 35 minutes from Tacoma to Federal Way, and then really heavy up the hill from the Valley up 18. Good news is Federal Way to Seattle is only running about 55 minutes. Out of the north end, thinning in Marysville, which is good, and we're back under an hour from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Northbound 405 is not bad at all, but we're still struggling with the northbound closure of I-5 at 101 in Tumwater. We'll keep a very close eye on that. This report brought to you by Bucky's Complete Auto Care. 50 years, Bucky's Complete has earned local trust with honest pricing, guaranteed repairs. Carfax preferred, no gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com.
Stay tuned for the G and Ursula Show. That's coming up next, right here on KIRO News Radio.
Progressive presents a testimonial of sorts.
Hey, slow down!
Oh, yeah? Well, you drive like my grandma. She's a very attentive and courteous driver who wears a seatbelt and always uses her turn signals. She's also a talented painter and has very low cholesterol. Not that that has anything to do with her drive. We just thought a more complete picture of who she is might be interesting. Anyway, have a nice day.
Safe driver? Get Snapshot from Progressive and get a personalized rate based on how you drive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
It's clogged again.
Your drain?
Just had it cleared.
You didn't call Apollo Plumbing.
How can you tell?
Because your drain's clogged again.
So frustrating.
We can clear that drain.
That's what the last guy said.
We'll clear it, guaranteed.
He said that too.
Apollo Plumbing will clear your drain, or it's free.
Wait, what?
Apollo Plumbing clears your drain.
Or it's free?
Yep.
What's the catch?
No catch.
Fine print?
Apollo Plumbing clears your main drain for $83.
$83, or it's free?
And we'll even give you a camera inspection.
Because?
It's the best way to find what's causing your clog.
But that's extra.
Nope. Included.
No extra charge?
Not 1 cent.
$83, or it's free.
All it takes is an accessible outside cleanout.
And an Apollo plumber.
No clog is safe from Apollo Plumbing.
And just like that, my main drain is...
draining again.
How can you...
Apollo plumbers are that good.
$83, or it's free.
You call, we come.
My drain's draining again.
Guaranteed.
$83, or it's free.
As it should be.
Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
At Care Partners Senior Living, we believe in providing quality care at an affordable price. Instead of spending on luxury and expensive art, we invest in our people and accommodations with a focus on compassionate overall health. Our communities offer independent, assisted living, and memory care designed to preserve dignity, independence, in your estate. Affordable, personal, trusted. That's our promise. Please give us a call. We have beautiful Care Partners communities throughout Washington and Arizona. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
It's a cold winter night and your furnace dies. Don't let this happen to you. If your system's 12 years or older, upgrade now to a Mitsubishi electric heating and air conditioning system from Home Comfort Alliance and stay warm. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Hey, Brock Heward here. Taking the First Mark Insurance Challenge could save your family a lot of money. It saved us thousands. First Mark works for you. Search in the carriers for lower rates and better coverage. If that sounds smart, go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Take your business to the next level in 2025 with help from WaFd Bank. WaFd Bank's business accounts and cash flow tools get you paid in hours, not weeks, so you can grow your business and meet your goals. You need a best bank. Visit wafdbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio.